Imagine a place where shadows stretch long and quiet, where the air hums softly with the whispers of forgotten lives. A land beneath the world you know, hidden beneath the hills and seas, where rivers wind slowly through dark valleys, and every step carries the weight of timeless stories. This is the realm of Hades, the Greek underworld. A place not of fear, but of reflection, where the living and the departed meet in a calm, eternal rhythm. Here, you will drift past silent rivers, watch spirits wander gently through fields of quiet light, and witness the serene grace of Persephone and Hades as they rule this mysterious kingdom. Tonight, we travel together across the River Styx, past the gates that mark the boundary between life and the shadows beyond. We will move slowly, observing without hurry, listening to the soft echoes of souls and the gentle pulse of the underworld. In this quiet journey, even legends take on a peaceful, reflective glow, guiding us through a realm of calm, where every whisper, ripple, and shadow soothes the mind and eases the heart into rest. Prepare to enter the underworld, not as a place of terror, but as a sanctuary of stories, a realm of gentle mystery, and a journey that will carry you softly into sleep. Don't forget to tell which part of world you are and what time you listening this calm sleep story. The gates of Hades, approaching the underworld beyond the familiar hills and whispering forests, where the sunlight fades into soft shadows and the air grows cool and still, lies a place that few mortals truly see. This is the threshold of the underworld, the realm of Hades, where life above gently gives way to a calm, reflective quiet. As we begin this journey, step softly and allow your mind to drift with the slow rhythm of the path, like a gentle river winding through hidden valleys. The entrance to the underworld was a narrow pass, flanked by ancient cliffs and overgrown with soft moss. A faint mist clung to the ground, curling gently around the roots of twisted trees and smooth stones. The air was heavier here, carrying the subtle scent of earth and water, as if the world above and the world below were breathing together in quiet balance. Every step forward was deliberate, measured, as if even the stones beneath your feet recognized the solemnity of the journey. Ahead, the River Styx shimmered faintly in the dim light. Its waters were still, almost reflective, capturing the soft gray of the sky above and the muted greens of the forest. The river did not roar or rush, it moved with a slow, endless patience, winding gently along the edge of the cliffs. A soft mist hovered above its surface, curling like delicate tendrils of smoke, inviting travelers to pause and breathe in the quiet presence of the underworld's first threshold. At the edge of the river stood Charon, the ferryman. His figure was calm and still, a quiet sentinel of the Styx. He did not rush, and he did not speak unless necessary. In his hands, the simple pole rested lightly, ready to guide those who were to cross the river. There was no fear here, only the patient acceptance of a role that had endured for countless ages. His eyes, though shadowed by the hood of his cloak, reflected the soft light of the river, observing each visitor with calm attentiveness. Stepping closer to the water, one could see faint ripples moving slowly across the Styx, responding to the gentle touch of the wind. The river carried whispers of countless lives, each one floating softly on the surface like delicate leaves drifting downstream. The stories of mortals, heroes, and forgotten souls intertwined with the stillness of the water, creating a quiet melody of memory and reflection. Crossing this river was not an act of fear but a gentle transition, a moment to pause and honor the passage from life to the shadows beyond. Charon guided travelers with a steady hand, his movements deliberate and smooth. The boat did not creak or groan, it seemed to glide effortlessly over the water, responding to the slow rhythm of the river. Each stroke of the pole sent soft ripples across the Styx, merging with a faint shimmer of moonlight on the surface. Above, the sky was muted, stars faintly reflected in the water, as if the heavens themselves were quietly observing this serene journey. Along the riverbank, small shadows moved, ghostly figures of reeds and moss, fluttering leaves, and the occasional bird returning to hidden nests. Even these creatures of the natural world seemed attuned to the calm presence of the Styx, moving slowly, with soft, measured gestures. Every element of this place, the water, the mist, the faint hum of the wind, worked together in a delicate balance, creating a sense of harmony that eased the mind and softened the heart. As the boat drifted across the Styx, a gentle awareness settled over the traveler. There was no urgency, no clamor for speed. The journey was meant to be observed, savored, and reflected upon. Every ripple, every faint echo, every movement of the boat through the mist became part of a soft, meditative rhythm. Here, the underworld did not feel distant or frightening. It felt like a quiet sanctuary, a place where the soul could rest and the mind could find calm, even in the midst of shadows. And so, slowly, gently, the boat carried its passengers toward the far shore, where the gates of Hades awaited. The river Styx whispered its timeless lullaby, the mist curled and swayed like silent dancers, and the world of shadows opened quietly, inviting all who entered to observe, reflect, and drift softly into the serene depths of the underworld. Across the Styx the boat glided gently across the river Styx, the water as still as glass, disturbed only by the soft strokes of Charon's pole. The mist swirled lightly around the edges of the vessel, curling in delicate spirals that seemed almost alive. Each ripple reflected faint silver light from the hidden moon above, casting soft patterns that shimmered across the hull. The journey was slow, deliberate, as though the river itself wished to guide the traveler into a space of quiet reflection. Charon stood at the stern, his cloak brushing lightly against the wooden frame. He moved without haste, each push of the pole sending the boat forward in a measured rhythm. There was no rush, no sound of hurry, only the gentle echo of water against the boat, mingling with the distant whispers of the river's surface. The ferryman's eyes, shadowed yet attentive, scanned the waters, aware of every subtle movement, every small ripple of light and shadow. As the vessel drifted further, the banks of the Styx grew faintly darker, the mist thickening to cloak the edges of the river in a gentle, silvery haze. The air became cooler, carrying the scent of damp stone and quiet earth. Each breath taken by the traveler was calm and deliberate, matching the slow, rhythmic pulse of the boat. Even the small sounds of the world above, the rustle of leaves or the distant call of birds, faded completely, replaced by the soft, steady symphony of water, mist, and the hushed presence of the underworld. Faint shapes began to emerge through the fog, shadows that moved with a gentle fluidity, never rushing. They were spirits, drifting along the Styx, their forms pale and almost translucent, like gentle memories woven into the mist. They did not speak or call out, they merely glided with quiet purpose, their soft movement creating subtle ripples across the water's surface. The river was alive, but not with fear. It was alive with calm, patient observation, a place where every being followed the same slow, timeless rhythm. Charon's pole moved steadily, breaking the surface of the water with a soft hiss. Each stroke created ripples that traveled outward, expanding slowly and merging with the faint reflections of stars above. The traveler's eyes drifted along the surface, tracing the delicate shimmer, feeling a sense of serenity in every gentle movement. Even the fog seemed to breathe, curling and stretching with a quiet grace, wrapping the boat in a cocoon of reflection and peace. Along the banks, faint outlines of trees and mossy stones appeared, their shapes softened by the mist. Shadows moved in slow arcs, and tiny creatures, perhaps spirits of the forest, scurried along the edges, aware of the presence of the boat but undisturbed by it. The Styx was not a river of fear tonight. It was a river of passage, a gentle bridge between worlds, carrying travelers in soft, deliberate waves toward the hidden lands beyond. The farther the boat drifted, the quieter everything became. Even the whispers of the spirits seemed to slow, fading into the rhythm of water and mist. The soft lapping against the hull, the gentle glide of Charon's pole, and the faint shimmer of the Styx's surface created a lullaby, a slow and soothing melody that carried the mind toward calm reflection. Here, in this gentle voyage, the underworld did not feel distant or threatening. It was a sanctuary of stillness, a place where the soul could wander freely in quiet observation. Finally, after what felt like hours of serene drifting, the far shore of the river appeared through the mist. Dark cliffs rose gently, their stones softened by creeping moss and slow, growing vines. The outline of the gates of Hades became visible, a towering archway carved into the rock, shadowed but inviting, a threshold between the river Styx and the hidden kingdom beyond. The journey across the Styx was coming to a gentle close, yet the calm rhythm of the river, the quiet presence of Charon, and the reflective whispers of the mist lingered softly, settling into the mind like a warm, slow embrace. The boat drifted toward the shore, guided with patient care, carrying the traveler to the gates of the underworld. Here, at the boundary between life and shadow, the air grew still, and a sense of quiet anticipation filled the space. The gates waited silently, ready to open into the serene, shadowed lands of Hades, where the journey would continue into the heart of the underworld itself. Arrival at the gates, the boat touched the far shore with a gentle hush, the soft lapping of the Styx settling into stillness. Charon guided it carefully onto the smooth stones, the echoes of the river fading like a whispered lullaby. The mist hovered around the edges, curling slowly and settling in soft coils, as if the underworld itself exhaled, welcoming the traveler into its quiet embrace. The gates of Hades rose before them, a grand arch carved from dark, ancient stone. Moss and vines clung to the edges, softening the shadows and adding gentle textures to the austere structure. The gates were enormous, yet there was no sense of harshness, only quiet majesty. Light from faint cracks above illuminated the carvings of serpents, flowers, and delicate patterns of vines intertwined with symbols of eternity. Every curve and line seemed deliberate, a slow invitation to enter a realm beyond the world of sunlight. As the traveler stepped forward, the air felt cooler, carrying the subtle scent of stone, mist, and unseen waters. Every breath inhaled the calm essence of the underworld, and with each exhale, a gentle sense of surrender unfolded. Here, the noise of life above was gone, replaced by the rhythmic stillness of shadowed corridors, softly murmuring rivers, and distant echoes that seemed to stretch across time itself. Two silent guardians stood by the gates, statuesque figures with softly gleaming eyes that did not judge, only observed. Their presence was strong, measured, and calm. They did not move to block the path, but their quiet attention seemed to mark the threshold with reverence. The traveler's steps slowed instinctively, matching the unhurried rhythm of these watchers, each footfall a meditation in balance, a part of the gentle passage from one world to another. The carvings on the gates told stories of countless ages, souls drifting across the Styx, spirits wandering the fields of Asphodel, the gentle watch of Hades and Persephone, and even the subtle beauty of Elysium. Though these tales were often imagined in dramatic or fearful ways, here they appeared as soft reflections, like calm memories unfolding in a dream. The traveler's eyes traced each line slowly, noticing the quiet artistry, the delicate flow of shapes and shadows, and the serene presence of the underworld itself. A soft breeze drifted through the archway, carrying faint whispers of movement from the lands beyond. It rustled the vines on the gates and stirred the mist around the traveler's feet. Every sound was delicate, every motion gentle, like a slow lullaby sung by the stones themselves. The underworld was alive, but not with clamor or terror. It was alive with presence, harmony, and patient observation. Every creature, every spirit, and every corner of the realm existed in calm, quiet equilibrium. Charon stepped back, his boat now resting on the shore, his task complete for this crossing. He nodded once, a simple gesture of recognition, before fading softly into the shadows at the river bank. The traveler now stood alone at the threshold, the gates wide, welcoming, yet still wrapped in the gentle mystery of Hades' kingdom. Each heartbeat slowed, each breath deepened, and the mind began to drift, opening to the rhythm of the underworld that awaited beyond. Through the gates, a long pathway stretched forward, lined with smooth stone and soft pools of water that reflected the muted light. Shadows moved gracefully along the path, the faint shimmer of spirits gliding past in quiet arcs. The soft hum of distant rivers, the gentle rustle of leaves in hidden groves, and the delicate touch of moss underfoot combined into a serene melody that guided the traveler onward. The gates themselves seemed to exhale, welcoming the quiet steps into Hades' realm. There was no rush, no need to hurry, only the slow unfolding of shadows, light, and presence. Beyond this threshold, the heart of the underworld awaited, its palaces, rivers, spirits, and hidden gardens, all moving in a rhythm that was calm, eternal, and perfectly attuned to the gentle pulse of existence itself. And so, with a slow, deliberate step, the traveler entered the underworld, crossing fully into the serene kingdom of Hades, where time flowed differently, shadows whispered softly, and every heartbeat, breath, and ripple in the water became part of a quiet, reflective lullaby. The kingdom of Hades, Hades' palace beyond the gates, the pathway stretched forward, winding through gentle valleys of shadow and light. The air was cool and still, carrying the faint scent of stone and hidden waters. Every step was quiet, measured, as the traveler moved deeper into the realm of Hades, the king of the underworld. The land here felt vast and timeless, a kingdom untouched by the hurry of mortal life, where every sound and movement followed a soft, deliberate rhythm. Ahead, rising slowly from the misted horizon, was Hades' palace. It was a structure of dark, polished stone, its towers and arches catching faint glimmers of unseen light, like soft reflections of a hidden sun. The walls were smooth yet intricate, carved with patterns that told stories of the underworld, the gentle flow of souls, and the timeless presence of its ruler. Despite its size and grandeur, the palace exuded calm, not threat, a serene, welcoming majesty that invited quiet observation rather than awe or fear. The main gate opened into a wide courtyard, paved with cool stone and dotted with shallow pools. Each pool reflected the muted light in soft ripples, mirroring the sky above and the shadows that moved slowly across the palace walls. The air carried a faint, sweet scent, like delicate flowers growing in hidden groves, mingled with the earthy aroma of stone and water. Everything in the courtyard seemed alive, yet entirely calm, as if the land itself were breathing slowly alongside its ruler. Hades stood at the center of the palace, tall and composed, his presence calm yet powerful. His robes flowed gently around him, catching faint streaks of light that shimmered across the stone floor. His eyes, though deep and commanding, were serene, observing the land and the traveler with quiet attentiveness. There was no hurry in his gaze, only the patient, steady awareness of one who has seen the passage of countless ages and countless souls. Soft corridors extended from the courtyard, leading to hidden chambers, quiet halls, and gardens of muted beauty. The walls of these halls were carved with intricate patterns, depicting rivers, fields, and hidden groves of the underworld. Every carving seemed to move subtly as the eye wandered over it, a gentle play of light and shadow that drew the mind into calm observation. The palace was vast, yet every corner resonated with a soft harmony, a rhythm that spoke of timeless patience and quiet authority. As the traveler moved through the courtyard, faint figures drifted quietly along the paths, spirits of the dead, moving with measured grace, their presence peaceful and reflective. They did not hurry, did not speak, only glided along with the natural rhythm of the land. The air seemed to hum softly with their quiet energy, a lullaby of calm, echoing through the halls of the palace and along the smooth edges of the pools. Near the tallest tower, a garden of subtle light unfolded, its plants muted in color but rich in gentle texture. Flowers of soft gray and pale green swayed slowly in an unseen breeze, while small streams trickled through the stones, creating tiny ripples that mirrored the slow pulse of the palace itself. The garden was a place of reflection, where even the strongest, most ancient souls could pause and find harmony with the stillness of the underworld. Hades' presence seemed to unify every part of the palace. The pools, the shadows, the soft echoes of water, and the quiet steps of drifting spirits all followed a rhythm that mirrored his calm authority. Nothing moved too quickly, nothing intruded on the gentle flow of the land. The traveler felt a sense of peace here, a soft understanding that the underworld, though shadowed and distant from life, was not a place of fear, but a realm of observation, reflection, and measured balance. Even the faintest sounds, the trickle of water, the whisper of a breeze through a hidden grove, or the gentle rustle of leaves in a shadowed courtyard, blended into a quiet symphony. Every element of Hades' palace moved with the same slow, deliberate rhythm, creating a place where time felt suspended and the mind could drift softly, free from worry, and rest in the calm majesty of the underworld. Quiet corridors beyond the courtyard, the palace of Hades opened into long, quiet corridors, winding gently through the heart of the underworld. Each passage was wide and softly lit by faint, shimmering light that seemed to flow from the stone itself. There were no sudden shadows, no harsh contrasts, only a steady, gentle illumination that guided the traveler's steps with a sense of calm. The walls of these corridors were carved with delicate reliefs, depicting the rivers of the underworld, the fields of asphodel, and the faint, serene faces of souls who had drifted through the realm over countless ages. Each carving was detailed but gentle, its lines soft and flowing, inviting slow observation rather than hurried examination. As the traveler's eyes traced the patterns, the mind began to quiet, letting the soft rhythm of the artwork blend with the slow cadence of the palace itself. Pools of still water lined the edges of the corridors, reflecting the faint light like polished glass. Occasionally, a small ripple would travel across the surface, caused by the gentle drip of water from the ceilings above. The sound was soft, almost musical, and it merged with the subtle echoes of the corridors, creating a lullaby of liquid rhythm. The pools reflected not only light, but the slow, deliberate movement of the traveler and the serene presence of the palace itself. Small alcoves appeared at intervals along the corridors, each one a quiet nook of reflection. In these spaces, faint plants and mosses thrived in the gentle shadow, their soft green and grey hues adding texture and life to the stone surroundings. Occasionally, a spirit drifted past, almost translucent, moving slowly and silently along the path. They did not hurry, nor did they call out. Their presence was calm and harmonious, a gentle reminder that life in the underworld followed a patient, timeless rhythm. In one alcove, a quiet stream trickled through smooth stones, the water moving slowly in soft curves. The traveler paused here, listening to its gentle flow. Each ripple, each small splash, echoed softly through the corridors, mingling with the faint murmur of distant pools. The palace seemed to breathe in harmony with these waters, its stone walls, pools, and shadows moving together in a measured, gentle pulse. Here, the underworld was not a place of dread, but a sanctuary of observation and reflection. Hades himself could be glimpsed in the distance, standing silently in one of the palace halls. His figure was tall and steady, exuding a calm authority rather than fear. He moved slowly, his robes whispering against the polished stone floor, every gesture deliberate and measured. Even the faintest motion carried weight, a quiet balance that resonated through the halls. The traveler felt the presence of this ruler not as threat, but as a guiding calm, an anchor in the serene vastness of the underworld. As the corridors wound deeper, the air grew softer, carrying faint hints of unseen gardens, hidden groves, and distant waterfalls. The walls themselves seemed to absorb the quiet of the realm, reflecting back only what was needed to maintain harmony, a soft echo, a gentle shimmer of light, a whisper of moving water. Each step along the corridor was slow, unhurried, and intentionally synchronized with the rhythm of the palace. Here, the traveler could sense the slow flow of time, moving differently from the world above. Days and nights seemed to blend together in a continuous, calming cycle, where every heartbeat, every breath, and every small movement became part of the gentle cadence of the underworld. Even the faintest sounds, a distant drip, a soft shuffle, the slow ripple of a pool, added to the soothing, meditative atmosphere. At the end of one long corridor, the traveler arrived at a circular chamber, where soft light from hidden pools danced across the walls. The space was empty yet full, quiet yet alive, a perfect reflection of Hade's rule of measured, patient, and serene. Here, one could pause, breathe, and simply exist, letting the rhythm of the palace carry the mind into quiet contemplation and gentle rest. The Palace of Hades, with its quiet corridors. The calm of the palace gardens at the heart of the palace, the corridors opened into a quiet courtyard unlike any other. Here, soft pools mirrored the dim light, and gentle streams wound slowly across stone, their surfaces glimmering in a subtle, silvered glow. The courtyard was dotted with low gardens, filled with moss, delicate flowers, and creeping vines. Their colors were muted, grays, soft greens, and faint silvers, but in their subdued beauty, they exuded a calm vibrancy, like the slow pulse of life itself. The traveler wandered along a path lined with smooth stones, each step softened by the stillness of the air. Tiny droplets from nearby pools clung to leaves and petals, reflecting faint flickers of light. The sound of water trickling and pooling created a soft melody, a rhythm that resonated through the courtyard and the connecting halls. Every movement seemed synchronized with this natural harmony, and the traveler felt a gentle sense of ease settle deep within, as if the calm of the palace were gently whispering, inviting rest. Hade stood near the edge of the largest pool, his tall figure steady and composed. His eyes, dark but serene, followed the movements of the waters and the gentle sway of the plants. There was no urgency in his presence, no command to hurry or act. Instead, he moved with soft, deliberate grace, each motion carrying the weight of ages but the gentleness of a ruler at peace with his domain. The traveler sensed that here, in this courtyard, time itself slowed, allowing each breath, each glance, each heartbeat to be observed fully. Nearby, Persephone moved lightly through the garden, her presence soft and luminous. Even in shadow, she exuded warmth, her steps gentle across the stones. She tended the gardens with care, brushing leaves lightly aside and observing the delicate flowers. The air seemed sweeter where she passed, imbued with a calm energy that complemented the quiet majesty of Hades. The palace, the gardens, and its rulers all moved in a careful, balanced rhythm, a choreography of serenity that the traveler felt in every fiber of their being. Shadows of spirits drifted along the edges of the courtyard, moving slowly like soft ribbons through the air. They did not speak, did not make a sound. They floated with measured grace, brushing past the pools and flowers with silent reverence. Some paused near the water to look at their own faint reflections, while others lingered among the garden paths. Their presence was not disturbing but comforting, a reminder that even in a realm of shadows, harmony and peace could thrive. The pools reflected not only the soft glow of the hidden lights but also the stillness of the air, the slow sway of plants, and the quiet elegance of Hades and Persephone as they moved. Each reflection rippled faintly with the subtle movements of the courtyard, like a meditation in stone, water, and shadow. The traveler walked slowly, absorbing the rhythm of the space, allowing each detail to imprint gently on the mind, carrying a sense of calm deep into the heart. At the center of the courtyard, a shallow stream curved gently around a small grove of silver-leafed trees. The water's edge was lined with smooth stones, each one warmed by the subtle glow of the pools. The sound of the stream mingled with the soft rustle of leaves and the occasional ripple of a distant fountain, forming a continuous lullaby that echoed softly through the palace. The traveler paused here, letting the quiet surround them completely, feeling as though the world above had melted away, leaving only serenity in its place. Hades' palace, with its quiet corridors, reflective pools, and serene gardens, revealed the true nature of the underworld. It was a place of patient balance, where strength existed in stillness, and where even the shadowed corners held beauty and harmony. Here, the traveler understood that the underworld was not merely a realm of endings, but a kingdom of gentle observation, measured time, and calm reflection, where every movement, every sound, and every breath was part of a slow, eternal rhythm. As the traveler moved toward the palace gates again, ready to continue the journey deeper into the underworld, a soft awareness settled in their heart. This realm, though distant from life, was alive in its own tranquil way. Every shadow, ripple, and whisper was a part of the quiet story of Hades' kingdom, a place where calm and reflection were eternal companions, and where the mind could drift freely into rest and peaceful contemplation. The deepest lessons of Tartarus. The traveler descended further into the shadowed chasms of Tartarus, each step slow, careful, and deliberate. The soft mist curled around jagged cliffs and deep fissures, thickening as they approached the deepest reaches. Here, the light from above dimmed to a faint, silvery glow, reflecting subtly off dark, polished stone and slow, moving rivers. The air was cooler and denser, carrying a soft scent of wet stone and quiet stillness. Each breath felt deliberate, each heartbeat slower, in harmony with the serene rhythm of this profound realm. Small streams of dark water wound carefully through the cliffs, their surfaces reflecting the faint light like liquid mirrors. The soft murmur of flowing water created a gentle, persistent hum, resonating through the rocks and into the traveler's chest. Every ripple, every whisper of current, seemed to carry a subtle invitation: pause, reflect, release tension, and sink fully into the calm of this shadowed depth. The traveler felt the slow pulse of Tartarus align with their own, each movement blending into the rhythm of water, stone, and silence. Pale figures drifted through the shadows, moving with deliberate care. Some lingered beside pools of dark, reflective water, their hands tracing quiet patterns that spread outward in calm ripples. Others walked along narrow ledges, their eyes closed, seemingly absorbing the lessons that the shadowed realm offered. These souls carried no cries, no frantic energy. They existed in quiet meditation, reflecting on choices, understanding consequences, and learning patience and acceptance in the slow passage of time. The traveler paused beside one of the wider rivers, feeling the gentle vibration of water beneath the feet of the boat, like stones floating on its surface. The river seemed alive, yet patient, flowing with measured grace. A faint shimmer of pale light reflected the slow, deliberate movement of the spirits above and along its banks. Each ripple invited the traveler to sink deeper into reflection, to release lingering tension, and to match the deliberate pace of the underworld itself. Persephone appeared along the shadowed path, her soft light contrasting with the deep grays and muted silvers of Tartarus. She moved with grace and care, touching the edges of pools, nudging ripples, and guiding drifting spirits gently along their paths. Hades followed, steady and composed, his shadowed form blending with the stone and mist. Their presence was not commanding but nurturing, a quiet reminder that even in the deepest shadows, guidance and balance prevailed. The traveler felt this harmony radiate into their body and mind, encouraging calm awareness, gentle observation, and meditative stillness. In one small clearing, the traveler noticed a spirit kneeling beside a slow, dark pool, tracing intricate patterns in the water. Each ripple spread outward with quiet precision, creating concentric circles that reflected the dim light of the realm. The traveler watched in silence, feeling the slow pulse of the water align with their own heartbeat. Every subtle movement, the ripple, the reflection, the gentle rustle of mist, seemed intentionally orchestrated to encourage deep reflection and inner calm. Soft sounds moved through the chasms, the distant drip of water, the faint stir of mist, and the subtle hum of flowing rivers. Even in shadow, there was rhythm, patience, and gentle order. Each sound contributed to the slow, meditative symphony of Tartarus, guiding the traveler toward an understanding that the deepest shadows were not for fear, but for reflection, understanding, and the soft release of burdens carried too long in the light above. The traveler paused at the edge of a deep fissure, gazing into its darkness. A slow, calm understanding settled over them. Tartarus was a place not of torment, but of the slowest, deepest meditation, a sanctuary where every shadow and every ripple encouraged awareness, patience, and serene contemplation. Even in the most shadowed depths, the underworld offered gentle guidance, teaching that peace could exist alongside reflection, and calm could be found within the lessons of shadow. With a final, deep breath, the traveler felt the pulse of Tartarus echo through their chest and into their limbs, a steady, gentle rhythm of water, stone, and shadow. Each heartbeat, each ripple, each subtle motion carried the soft reminder that even in darkness, balance, patience, and quiet meditation could transform the deepest lessons into calm understanding. Persephone, queen of the underworld, meeting Persephone as the traveler moved deeper into the palace grounds, the air grew softer, carrying a faint sweetness that blended with the earthy scent of stone and moss. Here, the shadows were gentler, the light more delicate, as if filtered through unseen layers of air and mist. Every step brought a sense of quiet anticipation, a feeling that something both familiar and extraordinary awaited just ahead. Through an archway entwined with pale silver vines, the traveler entered a garden unlike any other. The ground was soft underfoot, lined with moss and delicate flowers that shimmered faintly in muted tones of green, grey, and soft lavender. Gentle streams meandered lazily through the garden, their surfaces glimmering like liquid mirrors, reflecting the subtle movement of the leaves above. The entire space seemed to breathe slowly, in harmony with the quiet rhythm of the palace itself. And there she was, Persephone, the queen of the underworld, standing beneath the gentle shade of a silver-leafed tree. She moved with a grace so soft it seemed almost unreal, her presence a calm light in the midst of shadows. Her robes flowed like a slow river, brushing the soft ground and stirring the air with delicate whispers. Her eyes, bright yet serene, observed the garden and the visitor with quiet attentiveness, carrying neither judgment nor alarm, only the gentle acknowledgement of someone who had witnessed countless cycles of life and shadow. Persephone's hands rested lightly on the stems of delicate flowers, brushing leaves aside as she tended the garden with careful, thoughtful motions. The blooms responded to her presence, swaying slightly as if moved by an invisible breeze, creating a gentle harmony of color, texture, and quiet movement. The traveler felt drawn into this rhythm, the soft pulse of the garden syncing with their own breathing, each inhalation and exhalation slowing in tune with the calm of Persephone's domain. A small stream wound near her feet, the water moving lazily around smooth stones. Its gentle gurgle created a lullaby of its own, blending with the soft hum of hidden groves and the faint rustle of leaves overhead. Persephone's voice, when she spoke, was soft and melodic, like wind over water or the whisper of petals brushing one another. She welcomed the traveler gently, her tone neither commanding nor hurried, simply a soft invitation to rest, observe, and move with the rhythm of her world. The garden seemed alive with quiet life. Shadows of spirits moved along the edges of the pathways, gliding like slow, translucent ribbons. Their presence was calm and unobtrusive, each spirit following the measured rhythm of the underworld. Some paused to touch the water or brush past a flower, but none disturbed the tranquility. Persephone moved among them with ease, her presence gentle yet commanding in the subtlest way, guiding the soft flow of life in her realm without imposing or disturbing it. Above, pale light filtered through the branches of the trees, illuminating the edges of pools and petals with a soft glow. The play of light and shadow was mesmerizing, a slow dance that drew the eye and calmed the mind. Even the smallest details, the curve of a leaf, the ripple in the stream, the quiet hum of a distant waterfall, felt intentional, part of the carefully measured harmony of Persephone's domain. The traveler felt a quiet awareness settling in their chest, a deep sense of peace that seemed to emanate from Persephone herself. There was no fear here, no pressing need to act. Instead, there was a gentle understanding that this garden, this queen, and this realm moved according to a rhythm far older and calmer than the world above. Each sound, each movement, each breath became part of the serene pattern of the underworld, carrying a soothing warmth that invited reflection and rest. And so, in the soft hush of the garden, the traveler paused, letting the quiet flow around them. They watched Persephone move among the flowers, heard the subtle murmur of the streams, and felt the slow, measured pulse of life in the underworld. It was a place of harmony, of calm authority, and of gentle observation, a realm where even shadows could bring comfort, and where the mind could drift softly, carried by the tranquil rhythm of its queen. The gentle flow of her gardens, the traveler followed Persephone through her garden, each step along the soft moss and smooth stone a slow, deliberate motion. The air was infused with a faint, sweet fragrance, a mixture of hidden blooms and the earthy scent of damp soil. Every breath felt cleansing, carrying with it the quiet energy of this shadowed sanctuary. The garden stretched out like a soft labyrinth, winding past pools, streams, and clusters of delicate flowers that shimmered faintly in muted tones of silver, grey, and pale green. Nearby, a stream curved gently around a small grove of silver-leafed trees, its water moving slowly over smooth stones. The soft trickle and occasional ripple created a gentle melody that echoed quietly through the garden. Persephone knelt by the stream, her hands brushing the water's surface, sending delicate ripples that shimmered like silver threads across the calm expanse. The traveler paused, captivated by the soft rhythm, allowing their mind to settle into the unhurried pace of the underworld. Shadows moved gently across the garden, pale figures drifting slowly along the pathways. They were spirits of the underworld, neither hurried nor anxious, gliding with a quiet, deliberate grace. Some paused to peer into the pools, their reflections merging with the shimmer of water and light, while others lingered near flowers, their hands brushing softly against petals. Persephone's presence guided them subtly, a soft authority that harmonized with the gentle flow of life around her. The garden expanded into a series of courtyards, each connected by narrow bridges over shallow streams. The water moved lazily beneath the arches, creating faint ripples that mirrored the slow sway of leaves and vines above. Small waterfalls whispered into hidden basins, their sound like a lullaby, soothing and constant. Persephone walked alongside the traveler, pausing occasionally to touch a leaf or brush petals aside, her motion slow and deliberate, perfectly in tune with the rhythm of the garden. The light in this part of the underworld was soft and muted, filtered through the dense foliage of tall, pale trees. Shadows fell in delicate patterns across the stone paths, pools, and flowers, creating a gentle play of dark and light that was mesmerizing to watch. Every glance revealed a new detail, a subtle shimmer on a petal, a faint ripple in the water, a spirit gliding slowly along a hidden path. The traveler allowed their eyes to move freely, observing without hurry, feeling the quiet flow of the garden enter their mind and heart. Persephone led the traveler to a larger pool in the heart of the garden, where the water was still and reflective like a polished mirror. The surrounding trees leaned gently over the surface, their silver leaves swaying in an unseen breeze. The faint reflections of the sky above and the soft light from hidden lanterns mingled in the water, creating a calming tapestry of shadow and shimmer. Persephone knelt once more, letting her fingers brush the water, sending gentle ripples that traveled outward in slow, circular waves. The traveler watched in quiet awe, feeling the soft, meditative rhythm flow through their senses. Nearby, the soft hum of the underworld seemed to merge with the delicate melodies of the garden. The trickle of water, the rustle of leaves, and the faint movement of spirits all blended into a continuous lullaby. Time felt suspended here, as if each second were stretched gently to allow every detail to be observed, felt, and absorbed. The garden was a sanctuary within a sanctuary, a realm where even shadows and silence carried warmth and quiet comfort. Persephone rose slowly and gestured toward a narrow path leading to a hidden grove. The traveler followed, moving in perfect harmony with her pace. The grove was filled with clusters of soft flowers and quiet streams, each element arranged naturally, yet with a rhythm that was unmistakably deliberate. Here, the visitor felt a profound sense of serenity, as if the very land of the underworld were breathing slowly, teaching the mind to release tension, soften worries, and sink into calm reflection. In the heart of her gardens, Persephone's domain revealed its purpose, a slow, deliberate rhythm that balanced life and shadow, a sanctuary where every movement, sound, and reflection served to guide the traveler into a peaceful, meditative state. Here, the underworld was not a place of fear or darkness, but a haven of gentle presence, where even the quietest heart could find solace in the soft, enduring pulse of its queen. Harmony of the rule as the traveler followed Persephone deeper into her quiet gardens, where the gentle streams and reflective pools led to a secluded courtyard. Here, the soft light seemed to linger longer, caressing the pale leaves of the trees and casting delicate patterns across the stone pathways. The faint hum of the underworld, the whisper of water, and the subtle movements of drifting spirits blended together into a soothing, continuous rhythm that embraced the traveler with calm. In the center of this courtyard, Hades stood beside Persephone. His tall, shadowed figure exuded a quiet strength, perfectly complemented by her serene and luminous presence. Together, they seem to form the very pulse of the underworld itself, a balance of still authority and gentle care, darkness and subtle light. Their movements were slow, deliberate and harmonious, each gesture in tune with the rhythm of their domain. The air around them felt alive, not with noise, but with a soft energy, a measured pulse that seemed to synchronize with the traveler's own breathing. Hade's hand rested lightly near a small fountain, and Persephone's fingers brushed a delicate flower, their motions gentle and unhurried. Even the smallest ripple in the water or sway of a leaf seemed purposeful, yet calming, as though the entire realm moved with a rhythm of deliberate serenity. Nearby, spirits drifted quietly, observing the courtyard but never intruding. Some paused to watch the soft movements of their rulers, while others lingered by the edges of the pools or among the flowers. They seemed to understand the gentle law of this kingdom. All life, even in shadow, had its place, and every presence was part of a slow, harmonious flow. The traveler felt as if they, too, were being invited into this quiet balance, absorbing the rhythm of calm that guided every corner of the underworld. A small stream curved gently through the courtyard, its surface reflecting the soft light and the subtle, synchronized movements of the rulers. The sound of trickling water mingled with the faint rustle of leaves, creating a continuous, soothing melody. Each ripple, each gentle sway of the water, reinforced the sense of measured peace. The traveler paused beside the stream, letting their hands rest lightly on a smooth stone, feeling the soft pulse of life and reflection flow through the water, through the garden, and into their own quiet awareness. Persephone moved slowly to a circular pool at the edge of the courtyard. She knelt beside it, her reflection merging with the shimmer of the water. Hades remained standing nearby, watching silently, his presence steady and reassuring. Together, they created a sense of equilibrium, where stillness and motion existed in perfect harmony. The traveler observed them quietly, feeling the underlying message of the underworld's rulers, that even in shadow, there is beauty, balance, and serenity. The soft light from above and the faint glow of hidden lanterns illuminated the edges of the courtyard, highlighting the intricate carvings on the stone, the gentle ripples of the water, and the delicate swaying of flowers and moss. Every detail seemed alive, yet perfectly calm, inviting the traveler to absorb it slowly, deliberately, and without rush. The underworld revealed itself not as a place of fear, but as a sanctuary of reflection, where every movement, every sound, every shadow contributed to the quiet rhythm of existence. Persephone stood, brushing a petal lightly between her fingers before letting it fall back to the ground. Hades moved beside her, and for a moment, the two of them were perfectly still, their presence echoing the measured, eternal flow of their kingdom. The traveler felt their own heartbeat align with the subtle pulse of the courtyard, a steady cadence that invited peace, introspection, and rest. And so, in the quiet of the garden, amidst reflective pools and slow streams, the traveler understood the harmony of Hades and Persephone. The underworld was not merely a land of shadows, it was a realm of calm authority, gentle care, and eternal balance. Every sound, every ripple, every quiet movement carried the soft rhythm of life and reflection, guiding the mind toward a deep sense of serenity, and carrying the soul gently, softly, into the calm embrace of the underworld. The rivers of the underworld flowing through shadowed waters beyond the quiet majesty of Hades' palace, the traveler stepped onto soft, winding paths that led into the wider lands of the underworld. Here, the shadows stretched gently across rolling hills and low valleys, their edges softened by a fine, silver mist. The air was cool and heavy with stillness, carrying faint scents of damp stone, moss, and the subtle sweetness of hidden blooms. Every step seemed to echo softly, blending with the faint hum of the underworld, as though the land itself breathed slowly, inviting calm observation. The first river came into view, the Aeacus, its waters dark and deep, flowing lazily yet endlessly through the shadowed lands. The surface shimmered with a soft, silver light, reflecting the muted glow of distant lanterns and the faint twinkle of unseen stars above. The river moved with a slow, deliberate rhythm, and the traveler could feel the gentle pull of its current, not as a force of danger, but as a guide leading deeper into this quiet realm. A small boat waited at the river bank, its polished wood reflecting the silver shimmer of the water. Charon appeared once more, his cloak brushing softly against the stones as he gestured for the traveler to board. His movements were unhurried, careful, almost meditative, matching the gentle flow of the river. The traveler stepped lightly onto the boat, feeling the soft give of the wood beneath their feet, and allowed themselves to be carried forward with the slow, deliberate rhythm of the current. The river's surface mirrored the sky above and the shadows along its banks. Mist hovered lightly over the water, curling in soft tendrils that moved like slow dancers. Faint shapes drifted through the fog, spirits of the underworld, floating gracefully along the edges, gliding over stones and through shallow pools. They moved without urgency, their presence a quiet reminder that this realm, though distant from life above, was alive with soft, patient energy. As the boat glided forward, the traveler noticed the gentle curvature of the river banks. Low cliffs rose on either side, softened by moss, creeping vines, and clusters of delicate flowers. The muted light caught each curve, each ripple of water, creating a slow, mesmerizing play of shadow and shimmer. Even the tiniest movement, leaves brushing against one another or a small ripple on the water's surface, seemed deliberate, a part of the careful rhythm of the underworld. The traveler felt each breath lengthen, each heartbeat slow, in harmony with the motion of the boat and the steady pulse of the river. The Aeacus was not a rushing torrent, nor was it cold or menacing. It was a quiet, endless flow, carrying not only travelers but also the reflective energy of countless souls who had drifted along its waters for eons. Its movement was a gentle reminder that even in shadow, there was continuity, calm, and measured balance. Along the banks, occasional groves of silver-leafed trees appeared, their branches stretching toward the river and creating faint arches of soft shade. Delicate flowers with muted colors grew among the roots, their petals catching the gentle shimmer of light in the mist. The air here was thick with tranquility, carrying the sound of distant trickles, faint rustles, and the almost imperceptible murmur of flowing water. Every sound seemed to blend with the pulse of the river, forming a quiet symphony that encouraged the traveler to let go of tension and sink into serenity. Charon guided the boat with slow, rhythmic strokes, each movement deliberate, measured, and harmonious with the flow of the water. The traveler could feel the faint vibration of the river beneath the hull, a soft pulse that traveled up through the wooden floor, into the soles of their feet, and into their very chest. It was as though the river itself whispered, inviting reflection, patience, and a gentle surrender to the calm of the underworld. As the boat moved deeper along the Aeacus, The shadows lengthened and intertwined with the mist. The traveler's mind felt quiet, attuned to the rhythm of water, wind, and soft presence of spirits along the banks. In this slow, deliberate journey, the underworld revealed itself not as a place of dread, but as a land of reflection, gentle movement, and harmonious balance, where every current, every ripple, and every whisper of air carried the soft, eternal song of calm. Lethe, Phlegethon, and Cocytus the boat drifted slowly along the Acron, carrying the traveler past low, shadowed banks where moss and pale flowers leaned toward the water. Beyond the soft curves of this river, other waters awaited, each with its own quiet, meditative rhythm, and each reflecting a unique aspect of the underworld's eternal calm. The first of these was the Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, flowing gently in a wide, silvered stream. Its surface was smooth as glass, mirroring the pale, muted light of the mist above. The air near Lethe felt softer, imbued with a gentle warmth that seemed to ease the mind and loosen the tight grip of memories and worry. The traveler leaned over the boat's edge, letting their fingers brush the surface. Each ripple that spread outward carried a quiet reassurance, a slow invitation to release tension and let the mind drift. The river whispered of calm reflection, where the burdens of the mortal world could dissolve into soft, flowing currents. As the boat continued, the faint murmur of water led to the next river, Phlegethon, the stream of fire. Unlike the flames of the world above, here fire moved slowly and softly, a muted, glowing light that danced along the river's edges. The warmth was comforting, not harsh, and it illuminated the shadows with a gentle flicker that soothed rather than startled. The traveler watched as soft sparks rose from the water's surface, spinning lazily before dissolving into the air. Even fire in this place followed the calm rhythm of the underworld, a gentle pulse that mirrored the slow beating of the heart. Nearby, small spirits drifted along the banks of Phlegethon, their forms faint and ethereal, gliding effortlessly through the quiet warmth. They seemed to move in harmony with the flames, rising and falling with the gentle sway of the river. Persephone's soft influence was present even here, a delicate balance that ensured every element, the water, the fire, and the shadows, moved with tranquil precision. The traveler felt the heat on their skin as a comforting embrace, a reminder that the underworld's elements were not threats, but part of a carefully orchestrated harmony. Further ahead, the boat approached Cocytus, the river of wailing. Its surface was dark and calm, like polished stone, reflecting the faint light with a muted shimmer. The sounds that drifted across its waters were soft sighs and whispers, faint echoes of past lives that had passed gently into this realm. Here, sorrow existed not as anguish, but as quiet reflection, a slow, measured acknowledgement of endings and the cycle of existence. Each ripple, each whisper moved with a deliberate grace, carrying the traveler's mind deeper into calm, meditative awareness. The rivers seemed to merge seamlessly, yet each retained its distinct character, Lethe with its soothing forgetfulness, Phlegethon with its soft, controlled warmth, and Cocytus with its reflective, gentle sorrow. The traveler's boat glided from one to the next with ease, carried by currents that never rushed, never demanded, but simply guided. Each river became a lesson in patience and presence, its unique rhythm softening the mind and opening it to the tranquil pulse of the underworld. Along the banks, pale trees and delicate flowers leaned over the waters, their reflections mingling with the shimmer of the currents. Tiny ripples traveled slowly across the surface, catching the faint light in subtle patterns. The traveler paused often, letting each moment stretch into quiet observation, absorbing the gentle beauty of rivers that were as much about reflection as they were about movement. Here, in this slow flow of water, fire, and whispering currents, the underworld revealed itself as a sanctuary of patience, calm, and timeless rhythm. Even the faintest details, the soft rustle of leaves, the slow glide of a drifting spirit, the shimmer of light across the water, blended into a quiet symphony. Each sound and movement invited the traveler to let go, to sink fully into the gentle rhythm of this shadowed realm. Time itself seemed suspended, allowing every heartbeat, every breath, and every ripple to carry meaning, peace, and a soft, enduring sense of calm. As the boat continued along these rivers, the traveler understood that the underworld's power was not in terror or haste, but in the quiet mastery of balance. Here, every river, every shadow, and every reflection was part of an eternal meditation, a serene, flowing lullaby for those who journeyed slowly, observed deeply, and allowed themselves to rest in the rhythm of this gentle, timeless kingdom. The fields of Asphodel and glimpses of Elysium as the traveller's boat drifted slowly past the last ripples of Cocytus, the rivers began to widen, merging gently into a broad, calm expanse. The soft mist lifted slightly here, revealing a landscape that stretched quietly toward distant horizons. Gentle hills and rolling plains, dotted with silver, leafed trees and muted blossoms, appeared under the pale glow of a hidden, otherworldly light. This was the fields of Asphodel, where souls wandered slowly, their movements unhurried, each step in tune with the serene rhythm of the underworld. The traveler stepped onto the soft grass at the river's edge, feeling its subtle give beneath their feet. Each step was cushioned and quiet, a gentle welcome into the heart of this shadowed realm. Spirits drifted slowly along the paths and among the pale flowers, gliding as if carried by the faint currents of air. Their presence was peaceful, reflective, and unhurried. Here, sorrow and joy, memory and forgetfulness, existed side by side, each balanced in soft, harmonious tension. In the distance, the traveler glimpsed pale lights shimmering like stars along the horizon. These were the edges of Elysium, the land of eternal peace and quiet delight. Though far away, the glow was soft and inviting, hinting at a realm where calm, restful happiness reigned. The journey toward it seemed slow, almost imperceptible, yet the traveler felt no rush, only a gentle curiosity and the soft pull of calm wonder. The air here carried subtle fragrances, the earthy scent of the grass, the delicate perfume of muted flowers, and the faint mineral smell of the rivers that fed these plains. The combination was soothing, grounding, and meditative. Every breath felt deeper, slower, as though the underworld itself were guiding the traveler to match its rhythm, encouraging the mind and body to relax fully into the steady, eternal pulse of this hidden kingdom. Small streams meandered through the fields of Asphodel, their water dark and mirror-like, reflecting the muted light of the surroundings. Gentle ripples flowed from hidden fountains and shallow pools, carrying the same soft, meditative energy that had guided the traveler along the rivers before. Occasionally, a faint breeze brushed across the plains, stirring leaves and petals just enough to create a slow, whispering sound, blending with the gentle gurgle of the water. Every detail, no matter how small, seemed intentionally orchestrated to promote reflection and calm. Persephone appeared once more, walking slowly along one of the soft paths, her hands lightly brushing the tops of flowers and moss. Hades followed a few steps behind, steady and patient. Their presence brought a quiet authority to the landscape, guiding the wandering spirits and the soft currents of nature with a gentle, deliberate rhythm. The traveler felt the harmony of their rule, strength balanced with calm, shadow softened by subtle light, authority tempered by care. The soft glow from the distant Elysium drew the traveler's eyes upward, revealing not only the horizon but also the interplay of light and shadow across the plains. Each hill, each grove, and each reflective pool seemed to pulse with the same slow, enduring rhythm that had defined every step of the journey through the rivers. Even the drifting spirits seemed to move with a gentle grace, responding to the unseen melody of the underworld that Hades and Persephone maintained so effortlessly. The traveler paused beside a small stream that wound lazily through a grove of silver-leafed trees, listening to the soft trickle of water and the faint hum of hidden currents. Every detail, the shimmer on the water, the subtle rustle of leaves, the gliding of distant spirits, encouraged reflection, calm, and gentle meditation. The mind relaxed, worries softened, and the body sank deeper into a sense of serene presence, carried by the eternal rhythm of this shadowed realm. In the quiet of the fields of Asphodel, with Elysium glowing softly in the distance, the traveler understood the underworld's true nature, a kingdom not of fear, but of calm reflection, gentle balance, and patient harmony. Every river, every plain, and every shadowed corner carried its own rhythm, guiding the soul toward serenity, meditation, and quiet rest. Here, time seemed suspended, and the mind could drift freely, enveloped in the eternal, soothing embrace of Hades' realm. Elysium, the land of peace entering the fields of bliss as the traveler continued along the soft, winding paths of the underworld, the distant glow of Elysium grew steadily brighter. Unlike the silvered shadows of the fields of Asphodel, this land radiated a gentle warmth, a muted, golden light that seemed to wrap the world in calm. The air carried a subtle sweetness, a mixture of soft blooms and faint, sunlit warmth filtered through an unseen, ethereal glow. Every step brought a sense of welcome, as though the land itself exhaled a slow, soothing sigh, inviting the traveler to enter and rest. The path opened into broad meadows where pale, luminescent flowers swayed lazily in a soft, unseen breeze. Trees with silver and soft golden leaves stood at intervals, their branches forming gentle arches over the walkways. Beneath each tree, patches of moss and delicate grass cushioned every step. The air was thick with tranquility, a quiet energy that encouraged the traveler to slow their pace, breathe deeply, and feel the soft rhythm of Elysium seep into their body and mind. Faint streams wound gracefully through the meadows, their waters moving slowly over polished stones. The sound was a gentle, continuous murmur, like a whispered lullaby that echoed softly through the land. Here, water was not just a reflection of light but a gentle guide, carrying the traveler's thoughts along with its steady current. Each ripple, each tiny wave, seemed designed to soothe, helping the mind release tension and the heart settle into a slow, meditative cadence. Among the flowers and trees, pale figures drifted peacefully. These were the souls who had found rest in Elysium, moving slowly, with no urgency or care. Their presence was soft and comforting, they radiated a quiet light, reflecting the calm joy that pervaded the land. Some paused beside the streams, touching the water lightly, while others wandered beneath the gentle shade of the trees, their movements flowing with the rhythm of the place. The traveler felt their presence as a gentle energy, subtle yet deeply reassuring, like the faint echo of a lullaby long remembered. Persephone appeared once again, guiding the traveler gently through a grove of golden-leaved trees. Her robes moved softly, whispering against the ground, and her presence radiated calm authority and nurturing warmth. Hades followed, quiet and steady, his shadowed form perfectly in balance with the gentle glow of Elysium. Together, they represented the harmony of the underworld, where reflection, peace, and balance coexisted with the subtle rhythm of life and death. The traveler paused beside a wide stream that curved lazily through a meadow. The water was clear, reflecting the soft golden light and the delicate sway of surrounding trees. The gentle sound of its flow, combined with the faint whisper of leaves overhead, created a soothing symphony that seemed to resonate deep within. Each breath the traveler took became slower, each heartbeat synchronized with the quiet pulse of the land. The mind grew still, thoughts softening and dissolving into the meditative calm of the environment. Small bridges crossed the streams at intervals, smooth stones and polished wood worn faintly by the passage of countless souls. The traveler walked carefully across, pausing to notice the delicate patterns of reflection in the water below. Each step felt intentional, mindful, and harmonious with the surrounding rhythm. The light breeze, the gentle sound of rippling water, and the quiet glimmer of flowers all combined to create a space where calm and gentle awareness could flourish. Above, the soft glow of the unseen sun, like light, played across the meadows and streams, illuminating the land without overwhelming it. Every shadow and every shimmer was carefully balanced, revealing the subtle beauty of Elysium in a slow, unhurried way. The traveler realized that this place existed not just to house souls, but to provide a sanctuary for reflection, rest, and gentle contemplation, a space where the quiet pulse of peace could be felt in every fiber of the being. In Elysium, the underworld revealed a side that was rarely imagined, not darkness, not fear, but a realm of quiet joy, subtle warmth, and enduring calm. Here, the traveler could walk slowly, breathe deeply, and let the soft, measured rhythms of the land carry them into a state of serenity and gentle wonder. Every detail, the flowers, the streams, the drifting souls, and the soft presence of Persephone and Hades, work together to guide the mind into reflection, the heart into rest, and the body into peaceful ease. Deeper into the blissful fields the traveler walked slowly along the soft paths of Elysium, each step cushioned by the delicate grass and moss beneath. The golden light of this realm bathed everything in a muted, gentle glow, softening edges, illuminating petals, and turning the silver and gold leaves of the trees into a quiet shimmer. The air was warm but never stifling, carrying a sweet, subtle fragrance that seemed to calm every thought, every tension, and every heartbeat. As the path wound further into the meadows, the traveler discovered small clearings where the land opened into serene expanses. Here, the streams widened and meandered lazily, their waters smooth and mirror-like. Gentle ripples shimmered with soft golden light, and tiny currents carried faint echoes of peaceful laughter and quiet song, sounds not heard in the world above, but felt deep within the soul. Every element of Elysium seemed designed to slow the mind and invite reflection, each ripple, each breeze, each subtle sound a lullaby of the underworld. Among the flowers and tall grasses, pale figures moved with delicate grace. Some rested beside the streams, their reflections blending with the water and soft glimmers of light. Others wandered slowly through groves of silver, leaved and golden, leaved trees, each step measured, flowing, and unhurried. These souls were not weighed down by sorrow or fear. Instead, they radiated gentle calm and quiet joy, their presence adding to the meditative harmony of the land. The traveler felt drawn into this rhythm, each breath lengthening, each heartbeat slowing to match the pace of the surroundings. Persephone appeared again, her robes brushing softly against the ground as she led the traveler through a grove filled with flowers that glimmered faintly in muted silver and gold. She paused occasionally, touching a leaf or brushing a petal aside, and each motion seemed to send a subtle ripple of calm through the meadow. Hades followed, a shadowed figure moving with quiet strength, steady and composed, adding balance to Persephone's luminous presence. Together, they embodied the harmony of the underworld, light and shadow, strength and care, stillness and movement, perfectly intertwined. The traveler noticed a series of gentle hills ahead, each crowned with clusters of delicate flowers and small, reflective pools. Streams trickled softly between the hills, creating a continuous, soothing melody. Tiny ripples spread slowly across each pool, catching the golden light in quiet patterns. The air carried the faintest whispers of movement, the gentle sway of flowers, the soft gliding of spirits, and the subtle rustle of leaves in an unseen breeze. Each sound was faint, harmonious, and deeply calming. In one clearing, a pool shimmered with an almost dreamlike clarity. The traveler knelt beside it, gazing at the reflection of the soft light, the golden trees, and the drifting forms of peaceful souls. The water seemed to breathe with the rhythm of Elysium itself, flowing slowly and endlessly, inviting the traveler to release all tension, to let thoughts soften, and to sink fully into a state of calm presence. The gentle murmur of the stream and the soft rustle of leaves created a lullaby that resonated deep within, a quiet, rhythmic song of harmony and rest. As the traveler continued, they noticed small bridges arching over streams and tiny hidden groves where pale, luminescent flowers glowed faintly in the subdued light. These groves felt sacred and intimate, offering a space for reflection and gentle meditation. A faint breeze carried the soft fragrance of flowers and the muted warmth of golden light, blending into a perfect, quiet harmony. Here, even the air seemed to move with a slow, deliberate rhythm, inviting the traveler to match it with every breath. The deeper parts of Elysium revealed the purpose of this peaceful realm, a sanctuary for souls to rest, reflect, and experience gentle joy, harmony, and quiet wonder. Every tree, stream, flower, and drifting spirit was part of a slow, meditative dance, designed to soothe the mind, calm the heart, and guide the traveler into serene contemplation. Even in the shadowed underworld, here was a place of beauty, of measured balance, and of endless, soft peace. In this land of calm and subtle light, the gentle joys of souls, the traveler wandered slowly through the deeper fields of Elysium, each step cushioned by the soft, golden grass and moss beneath. The golden light of the realm bathed everything in a warm, gentle glow, softening the edges of trees, flowers, and distant hills. The air carried a faint, comforting fragrance, a mixture of pale blossoms, soft earth, and a delicate sweetness that seemed to soothe the mind and heart with each inhalation. Every breath became slower, every heartbeat harmonized with the soft rhythm of the land. In quiet clearings, the traveler noticed the souls of Elysium engaged in subtle, gentle activities. Some walked slowly along shaded paths, their movements graceful and deliberate, as if each step were a meditation in motion. Others sat beside calm streams or small reflective pools, their hands lightly brushing the water or tracing delicate patterns in the sand. A few rested beneath trees, their eyes closed, their faces serene, listening to the faint rustle of leaves, the quiet flow of water, and the distant hum of soft light. The traveler paused near one of these pools, where pale figures drifted gently across the surface of the water, their reflections merging with the shimmer of golden light. The pool seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting in soft rhythms, carrying the subtle pulse of Elysium itself. Each ripple, each movement, each faint whisper of sound was like a gentle lullaby, encouraging calm awareness and quiet reflection. The traveler felt an almost magnetic pull toward the stillness, their body relaxing, their mind softening, and their thoughts dissolving like morning mist. Persephone appeared beside the traveler once more, her presence luminous yet gentle. She knelt by the pool, allowing her fingers to glide lightly across the water, creating faint ripples that spread in perfect harmony. Hades stood nearby, quiet and steady, his shadowed form contrasting the soft golden light without disturbing it. Together, they maintained the balance of the realm, ensuring that every soul, every ripple, and every subtle sound moved with a gentle, meditative order. The traveler felt this harmony radiate through the air, wrapping around their heart and mind like a soft, warm blanket. A group of souls moved slowly across a nearby meadow, their motion synchronized with the soft rhythm of the streams and the sway of the flowers. They exchanged quiet smiles, gestures of connection that were unspoken yet full of warmth. Some gathered around small, delicate fires that glimmered softly, their light flickering without heat, offering quiet comfort and reflection. The traveler observed, feeling the essence of each action, calm, gentle, and purposeful, a reminder that even in the underworld, joy and serenity could exist in simple, meditative forms. Small birds with pale feathers flitted silently among the trees, brushing the air with their wings and landing softly on branches or rocks. Their songs were faint and melodic, a whisper of music that harmonized with the gentle current of the streams and the slow rustle of leaves. The traveler breathed deeply, letting the combined melodies of water, wind, spirits, and birds carry them further into a state of meditative calm. Time seemed suspended, each moment expanding into quiet reflection and soft awareness. Persephone guided the traveler along a narrow path that curved through a grove of delicate flowers and small pools. Each step revealed new glimpses of harmony, a soul quietly painting patterns in the sand, a reflective pool catching the faint shimmer of golden light, a gentle ripple moving slowly across a stream. Every detail seemed designed to nurture serenity, reminding the traveler that rest, calm, and gentle joy could coexist with the quiet shadows of the underworld. The traveler paused to observe one final clearing, where the sun-like glow of Elysium pooled softly around a wide stream. Spirits drifted along the banks, their faces serene, their movements slow and intentional. Flowers glimmered faintly, petals swaying in an unseen breeze, and the water moved with a perfect, measured rhythm. In this place, the traveler understood fully that Elysium was not merely a land of rest, but a realm where reflection, calm, and quiet joy were interwoven with every element, guiding each soul into peaceful meditation and gentle presence. With a final glance at the tranquil streams, the drifting spirits, and the soft golden light, the traveler felt a deep, lasting sense of calm. Every ripple, every breath of air, every subtle sound had contributed to a slow, enduring rhythm, a rhythm that could soothe the heart, still the mind, and carry one gently into serenity. Here, in the gentle embrace of Elysium, the underworld revealed its most enduring secret. Even in shadow, there could be soft joy, quiet harmony, and the perfect calm of timeless peace. The shadowed depths entering Tartarus, leaving the golden meadows of Elysium behind, the traveler followed a narrow, winding path that descended gradually into the deeper regions of the underworld. The air grew cooler, heavier, carrying a faint metallic scent of stone and shadow. The soft golden light faded, replaced by pale silvers and muted grays that draped the land in quiet, solemn tones. Each step felt slower, deliberate, as if the path itself encouraged reflection and patience. Ahead, the landscape shifted subtly. Hills became low cliffs, and the ground underfoot grew firm, smooth, and shadowed. Soft mist clung to the valleys, curling slowly around twisted stone and silent groves. The traveler felt a gentle weight in the air, a quiet gravity that was not oppressive but deepened attention, drawing the mind inward. Here, the underworld revealed another layer of its eternal balance, shadow and reflection, stillness and depth. Through the mist appeared the faint outline of Tartarus, the deep chasm of punishment and reflection. Unlike the chaos that many feared, Tartarus in this realm moved with slow, deliberate rhythm. Jagged cliffs and shadowed chasms stretched into the distance, softened by the pervasive mist. Streams of dark, sluggish water wound carefully along the rock, their surfaces reflecting muted light like liquid mirrors. The traveler paused to observe, noticing that even in the depths, there was a quiet order, a gentle pulse that seemed to echo the steady heartbeat of the underworld itself. As they walked closer, pale, faint figures moved along the edges of the chasms. Their faces were thoughtful, their movements slow, as if every step were a meditation on their past lives and the choices they had made. No cries or anguished shouts disturbed the air. Instead, there was a gentle, reflective energy that seemed to encourage contemplation and understanding. The traveler realized that Tartarus was not simply a place of punishment, it was a place for deep reflection, a shadowed sanctuary where the lessons of life could be absorbed slowly and deliberately. The path led to a plateau overlooking a wide, dark river that glowed faintly with muted light, the river Phlegethon's far reach into the shadowed lands. Its water was sluggish, moving lazily over dark stones and winding through the chasms. The gentle roar of the river echoed softly through the cliffs, creating a low, calming hum that seemed to resonate deep within the traveler's chest. Each ripple, each quiet splash, added to the steady rhythm of this shadowed region, a lullaby of stone, water, and stillness. From the mist emerged soft glimmers, pale lights hovering above deep fissures in the stone. These were spirits, not restless or frantic, but reflective, floating gently in the space between shadow and light. Some paused beside the edges of small pools, gazing at their reflections, while others drifted slowly along narrow ledges. The traveler could feel the quiet intention in every movement, a meditation in motion that mirrored the slow, measured flow of the rivers below. Persephone appeared at the edge of the plateau, her presence luminous against the muted shadow. She gestured for the traveler to pause and watch the scene below, where cliffs, fissures, and slow streams intertwined in quiet, deliberate order. Hades followed a step behind, a shadowed figure whose steady presence balanced the soft light of Persephone. Together, they guided the energies of Tartarus, ensuring that even the darkest, deepest corners moved with a rhythm of calm reflection, never chaos, never hurry. The traveler knelt briefly beside a small pool fed by the distant river, letting the cool, shadowed water ripple gently against their fingers. The reflection of cliffs, mist, and drifting spirits shimmered on the surface, each movement slow and meditative. Every ripple seemed to invite reflection on life, on choices, on the quiet lessons that could be learned even in shadow. In this moment, Tartarus felt less like a place of fear and more like a sanctuary of deep understanding, a space where the mind could settle, the heart could soften, and the soul could rest in measured contemplation. From this plateau, the traveler gazed down into the vast chasm of Tartarus, observing the gentle interplay of shadow, water, and spirit. The quiet rhythm of the land was undeniable. Every sound, every movement, every ripple carried the soft pulse of the underworld. Even in its deepest, darkest reaches, the realm maintained harmony, balance, and a slow, enduring sense of calm that invited the traveler to release tension, soften worry, and drift slowly into the meditative embrace of Hades' domain. Lessons in the deep. The traveler descended along a narrow, winding path, each step soft and deliberate, cushioned by the faint moss and smooth stone beneath. The mist thickened slightly, curling gently around jagged cliffs and deep crevices, creating a quiet veil between the plateau above and the shadowed depths below. Every sound seemed muted, softened by the lingering fog. The air was cool, heavy, and full of calm, carrying with it the subtle scent of damp stone and quiet reflection. Below, Tartarus opened into a vast, shadowed basin. Streams of dark water wound slowly through the chasms, their surfaces reflecting the pale light from above like liquid mirrors. The faint gurgle and ripple of water created a continuous, soothing hum, resonating with the slow pulse of the land. The traveler felt their own heartbeat align with the rhythm of the streams, each beat growing slower, more measured, matching the calm, deliberate movement of the underworld itself. Pale figures moved carefully among the rocks and fissures. These were the souls dwelling in Tartarus, not restless or frantic, but quietly reflective. Each movement was slow and intentional, as if they were walking through their own memories and choices, contemplating gently the paths that had led them here. Some knelt beside small pools, their hands tracing patterns in the water, creating faint ripples that spread outward in serene concentric circles. Others sat on smooth stones, gazing silently into the depths of shadowed streams, their faces calm, thoughtful, and unhurried. The traveler paused to watch a group of spirits near a slow, dark river that wound through the basin. The water reflected muted silver light, and each ripple seemed to carry a whisper of reflection, a soft invitation to look inward. One spirit traced a pattern of small stones along the riverbank, carefully arranging each pebble. The motion was deliberate and meditative, like a slow dance with the earth itself. The traveler felt drawn into the rhythm, inhaling slowly, exhaling with quiet awareness, letting the soft pulse of Tartarus settle into their body and mind. Persephone appeared at the edge of a narrow bridge, her soft robes brushing lightly against the stone. She gestured for the traveler to cross slowly, to absorb the harmony in the movement of the land and water. Hade stood nearby, his shadowed presence steady, silent, and reassuring. Together, they guided the energies of Tartarus, not with force or command, but with calm balance, ensuring that every ripple, every movement, every drifting spirit moved with deliberate purpose. The traveler understood that even in shadow, there could be harmony, reflection, and profound peace. Along the riverbanks, pale light shimmered on the surfaces of shallow pools. Tiny ripples spread lazily across the water as soft breezes moved through the fissures, carrying faint sounds of distant streams and slow, echoing currents. The traveler knelt beside one pool, letting their fingers brush the cool surface. The water mirrored the cliffs and drifting spirits above, creating a gentle, hypnotic pattern that seemed to pulse in quiet synchronization with their breathing. Every ripple invited calm thought, every reflection encouraged meditative presence, every subtle movement softened the tension of the mind. Some souls moved in pairs, walking side by side in quiet companionship. Their movements were slow and intentional, creating a soft rhythm of mirrored gestures and gentle harmony. Other souls remained alone, their focus inward, tracing the curves of stone or following the slow flow of water. Tartarus, though shadowed and deep, was not a place of chaos or fear. It was a sanctuary of deep reflection, where the lessons of life could be absorbed in deliberate, meditative stillness. The traveler paused to take a slow breath, inhaling the cool, heavy air of the shadowed basin, feeling the soft weight of reflection settle in their chest. Every detail, the ripple of water, the faint rustle of stone, the drifting forms of contemplative souls, worked together to create a quiet symphony of slow awareness. The mind softened, the heart relaxed, and the body surrendered to the gentle rhythm of the underworld's depth. Looking across the basin, the traveler understood the true purpose of Tartarus, not punishment in anger, but reflection in measured stillness. Every soul, every ripple, every shadowed corner carried a slow, enduring lesson in presence, balance, and gentle contemplation. Even in the deepest, darkest reaches, the underworld maintained harmony, guiding the mind, heart, and spirit into a profound, meditative calm that lingered long after each step. The deepest lessons of Tartarus, the traveler descended further into the shadowed chasms of Tartarus, each step slow, careful, and deliberate. The soft mist curled around jagged cliffs and deep fissures, thickening as they approached the deepest reaches. Here, the light from above dimmed to a faint, silvery glow, reflecting subtly off dark, polished stone and slow, moving rivers. The air was cooler and denser, carrying a soft scent of wet stone and quiet stillness. Each breath felt deliberate, each heartbeat slower, in harmony with the serene rhythm of this profound realm. Small streams of dark water wound carefully through the cliffs, their surfaces reflecting the faint light like liquid mirrors. The soft murmur of flowing water created a gentle, persistent hum, resonating through the rocks and into the traveler's chest. Every ripple, every whisper of current, seemed to carry a subtle invitation: pause, reflect, release tension, and sink fully into the calm of this shadowed depth. The traveler felt the slow pulse of Tartarus align with their own, each movement blending into the rhythm of water, stone, and silence. Pale figures drifted through the shadows, moving with deliberate care. Some lingered beside pools of dark, reflective water, their hands tracing quiet patterns that spread outward in calm ripples. Others walked along narrow ledges, their eyes closed, seemingly absorbing the lessons that the shadowed realm offered. These souls carried no cries, no frantic energy. They existed in quiet meditation, reflecting on choices, understanding consequences, and learning patience and acceptance in the slow passage of time. The traveler paused beside one of the wider rivers, feeling the gentle vibration of water beneath the feet of the boat, like stones floating on its surface. The river seemed alive, yet patient, flowing with measured grace. A faint shimmer of pale light reflected the slow, deliberate movement of the spirits above and along its banks. Each ripple invited the traveler to sink deeper into reflection, to release lingering tension, and to match the deliberate pace of the underworld itself. Persephone appeared along the shadowed path, her soft light contrasting with the deep greys and muted silvers of Tartarus. She moved with grace and care, touching the edges of pools, nudging ripples, and guiding drifting spirits gently along their paths. Hades followed, steady and composed, his shadowed form blending with the stone and mist. Their presence was not commanding but nurturing, a quiet reminder that even in the deepest shadows, guidance and balance prevailed. The traveler felt this harmony radiate into their body and mind, encouraging calm awareness, gentle observation, and meditative stillness. In one small clearing, the traveler noticed a spirit kneeling beside a slow, dark pool, tracing intricate patterns in the water. Each ripple spread outward with quiet precision, creating concentric circles that reflected the dim light of the realm. The traveler watched in silence, feeling the slow pulse of the water align with their own heartbeat. Every subtle movement, the ripple, the reflection, the gentle rustle of mist, seemed intentionally orchestrated to encourage deep reflection and inner calm. Soft sounds moved through the chasms, the distant drip of water, the faint stir of mist, and the subtle hum of flowing rivers. Even in shadow, there was rhythm, patience, and gentle order. Each sound contributed to the slow, meditative symphony of Tartarus, guiding the traveler toward an understanding that the deepest shadows were not for fear, but for reflection, understanding, and the soft release of burdens carried too long in the light above. The traveler paused at the edge of a deep fissure, gazing into its darkness. A slow, calm understanding settled over them. Tartarus was a place not of torment, but of the slowest, deepest meditation, a sanctuary where every shadow and every ripple encouraged awareness, patience, and serene contemplation. Even in the most shadowed depths, the underworld offered gentle guidance, teaching that peace could exist alongside reflection, and calm could be found within the lessons of shadow. With a final, deep breath, the traveler felt the pulse of Tartarus echo through their chest and into their limbs, a steady, gentle rhythm of water, stone, and shadow. Each heartbeat, each ripple, each subtle motion carried the soft reminder that even in darkness, balance, patience, and quiet meditation could transform the deepest lessons into calm understanding. The borderlands between shadow and light emerging from the deep, shadowed depths of Tartarus, the traveler climbed slowly along a gentle slope, leaving the cool darkness behind. The air became slightly warmer, carrying a soft, earthy scent mingled with the faint sweetness of distant blossoms. Mist still curled among the low cliffs, but it was lighter now, flowing lazily across gentle hills and pale meadows. The transition was gradual, unhurried, as if the underworld itself wanted the traveler to savor each step and adjust to the subtle shift from shadow to the soft glow of reflective light. Ahead, the path opened into a wide borderland, a quiet space where the darkness of Tartarus gradually gave way to the muted silver and gold of the fields of Asphodel. Small streams wound lazily across gentle plains, reflecting the pale light and carrying the faintest murmur of distant rivers. The water flowed slowly, almost imperceptibly, yet with a steady, deliberate rhythm that seemed to guide the traveler's pace. Each ripple mirrored the surrounding landscape, soft hills, drifting mist, and faint glimmers of spirits moving quietly through the plains. The traveler paused to observe a small grove of silver-leafed trees near a meandering stream. Pale spirits drifted among the trees, their movements slow and intentional, like gentle echoes of reflection. Some paused beside the water, tracing subtle patterns with their hands and watching the ripples spread. Others wandered among the flowers, pausing occasionally to brush petals aside or touch the moss on a stone. Every motion was deliberate, slow, and filled with quiet contemplation. The traveler felt the rhythm of the borderland seep into their mind and body, encouraging slower breathing, softer thoughts, and a gentle sense of calm presence. Persephone appeared quietly beside the traveler, her soft robes brushing lightly against the grass. She gestured toward the horizon, where the muted light of the borderlands blended with the soft golden glow of distant Elysium. Hades followed, his shadowed form steady, moving without urgency, yet somehow commanding the quiet energy of the place. Together, they guided the traveler through the space between shadow and light, demonstrating the underworld's natural balance, moments of reflection and meditation alongside gentle glimpses of joy and peace. A gentle breeze passed through the grove, moving leaves and petals slowly, creating a soft whisper that mixed with the faint murmur of water. The traveler knelt beside a pool fed by one of the meandering streams. Its surface was dark and mirror-like, reflecting the soft light and the drifting figures of pale spirits above. As the traveler's fingers brushed the water, tiny ripples spread outward, each one a quiet echo of the slow rhythm of this borderland. The effect was hypnotic, meditative, and soothing, inviting the traveler to release tension and sink deeper into a calm awareness of the surrounding beauty. Beyond the grove, the path curved around gentle hills and low cliffs, revealing more streams, small pools, and clusters of flowers that shimmered faintly in silver and gold. The soft light illuminated the shapes of distant spirits, gliding slowly across the plains or sitting quietly beside pools. Their presence was subtle yet reassuring, a reminder that even in transitional spaces, harmony and calm could exist. Every movement, every ripple, every breath of wind seemed designed to slow the traveler's mind and encourage a state of quiet reflection. Small bridges arched gracefully over streams, worn smooth by countless souls who had passed this way. The traveler walked across one, pausing to watch the water ripple below, the light reflecting in delicate patterns on its surface. Here, between shadow and light, the underworld revealed a gentle balance, every detail, the flow of water, the drifting spirits, the shimmer of mist, the quiet sway of trees, worked together to create a slow, meditative rhythm. The traveler stopped at the crest of a gentle hill, looking back toward Tartarus and then ahead to Asphodel and Elysium. The entire borderland seemed to pulse with a quiet energy, neither harsh nor urgent, but patient, deliberate, and enduring. Here, the traveler realized, the underworld's power was in its rhythm, its subtle harmony, and its ability to teach calm presence, reflection, and patience, even in the spaces between shadow and light. With one final, slow breath, the traveler continued along the path, stepping lightly through the borderlands, letting the soft pulse of rivers, mist, and spirits guide each movement. Every ripple, every rustle, every whisper of air carried the gentle promise of serenity, inviting the traveler to move forward slowly, peacefully, and with quiet awareness. Hidden glades and quiet streams, the traveler followed the winding path through the gentle hills of the borderlands, stepping lightly over moss, covered stones, and soft grass. The mist here was delicate, curling slowly around silver-leafed trees and low shrubs, creating a soft veil over the landscape. Streams meandered lazily through the glades, their surfaces smooth and mirror-like, reflecting the muted light of the underworld. Each ripple seemed to carry a quiet rhythm, inviting the traveler to slow each step and match the gentle pace of the land. Among the trees, small clearings appeared, each one serene and untouched. Pale spirits drifted softly through these spaces, their movements deliberate, graceful, and unhurried. Some paused beside the streams, letting their hands skim the cool water, watching the faint ripples spread outward. Others wandered beneath the branches, brushing leaves and petals aside with careful, meditative gestures. The traveler noticed that every soul here seemed connected to the rhythm of the land, moving in harmony with the streams, the wind, and the soft rustle of foliage. Persephone appeared beside the traveler, her luminous presence a gentle contrast to the silver, grey shadows of the borderlands. She guided the traveler toward a narrow stream that wound through a secluded glade. Hades followed, his calm, shadowed form blending seamlessly with the muted light. Together, they led the traveler through the quiet sanctuary, showing how even transitional spaces between shadow and light could hold peace, reflection, and soft, enduring harmony. The stream widened into a small, shallow pool, its surface reflecting the faint light in gentle, shifting patterns. The traveler knelt at the edge, letting their fingers touch the water. Tiny ripples spread outward, merging with those created by drifting spirits and the occasional leaf falling from the silver-leafed trees above. The effect was mesmerizing, hypnotic in its calmness, inviting the mind to soften, the heart to slow, and the body to sink into a state of gentle relaxation. Around the glade, flowers glimmered faintly, pale petals brushing against one another in the unseen breeze. The soft sounds, the gentle gurgle of water, the whisper of leaves, the subtle rustle of spirits moving slowly, blended into a quiet symphony. Every detail, no matter how small, seemed intentionally crafted to encourage meditation and reflection. The traveler felt the underworld's rhythm resonate through them, each heartbeat slowing, each breath lengthening, each thought softening into peaceful awareness. A narrow footbridge arched over the stream, worn smooth by the passage of countless souls. The traveler crossed slowly, pausing midway to watch the reflection of the soft golden and silver light on the water. The bridge felt like a threshold, connecting the shadowed depths they had left behind with the softer, lighter realms ahead. It was a subtle reminder that every journey in the underworld was meant to be measured, deliberate, and filled with quiet awareness. Further along the path, the traveler discovered another glade, more secluded than the first. Here, the mist hovered lower, and the air was thick with the scent of pale blossoms and damp earth. Small pools mirrored the drifting forms of spirits, and gentle streams wound their way through the soft grass, each movement carrying the slow pulse of the underworld. The traveler sat beside one of the pools, allowing the calm of the place to settle fully into their body and mind, feeling the quiet harmony of shadow, water, and soft light surround them. Persephone paused nearby, her presence radiant yet gentle, as if to show that even in hidden corners, the underworld maintained balance and peace. Hades stood in the distance, steady and quiet, his shadowed form emphasizing the calm order that existed even in the most secluded spaces. The traveler realized that the underworld was not merely a realm of shadows, rivers, and spirits, but a living, breathing meditation, a sanctuary where every ripple, every movement, and every subtle sound guided the mind toward serenity, reflection, and gentle rest. The traveler rose slowly, feeling the soft pulse of the glades beneath their feet, the quiet flow of water around their hands, and the gentle rhythm of spirits moving nearby. Each step became part of the underworld's slow melody, a meditation in motion, a dance of calm and balance, a gentle reminder that even in transition, there was harmony and peace. With this awareness, the traveler continued along the path, deeper into the borderlands, letting the soft, measured pulse of the underworld guide them forward. The edge of light and shadow, the traveler continued along the winding path, leaving the hidden glades behind. The mist gradually thinned, revealing soft, gentle hills and low meadows where the light of Elysium shimmered faintly in the distance. The streams grew wider, their surfaces smooth and reflective, carrying a subtle glow that hinted at the peaceful realm beyond. Every step along this path felt intentional, as if the land itself guided the traveler to move slowly, breathe deeply, and become aware of the gentle balance between shadow and light. Along the edges of these borderlands, pale spirits moved softly, drifting between shadowed valleys and the warm, muted glow of distant meadows. Some paused beside the rivers, touching the water or tracing delicate patterns in the sand and stones. Others wandered beneath the low silver and golden trees, their movements graceful, unhurried, and mindful. The traveler watched in silence, feeling the rhythm of the spirit's movements align with their own pulse, each heartbeat slowing, each breath deepening, until every part of the body seemed to float in harmony with the land. Persephone appeared once more, gliding lightly along the path beside the traveler. Her luminous presence cast a gentle glow, highlighting the delicate ripples on the streams and the shimmer of the mist. Hades followed, his shadowed form steady, calm, and reassuring, blending with the silver, grey landscape. Together, they guided the traveler through the borderlands, teaching by their quiet presence that the underworld was a place of balance. Light and shadow, joy and reflection, Elysium and Asphodel, all existed in harmony, each complementing the other, each shaping the rhythm of the realm. A soft breeze moved through the meadows, carrying the faint scent of flowers and the subtle warmth of distant sunlight, like glow. The traveler paused beside a gently flowing stream, letting their fingers brush the water. Tiny ripples spread outward, catching the faint glimmers of light and reflecting the drifting forms of spirits above. The effect was hypnotic, gentle, and meditative. Every ripple invited awareness, reflection, and a quiet surrender to the peaceful pulse of the underworld. Along the path, small bridges arched over the streams, worn smooth by countless souls who had passed this way. The traveler crossed one slowly, pausing midway to observe the delicate harmony of the land. On one side, shadows lingered softly in low valleys, while on the other, the distant golden light of Elysium beckoned gently. The contrast was soothing rather than alarming, teaching the traveler that the underworld was not a place of extremes but a realm of subtle balance and enduring calm. In a quiet glade nearby, the traveler observed a small group of spirits gathered in gentle conversation. Their voices were soft, melodic, and unhurried, like the faint rustle of leaves or the distant ripple of water. Some traced patterns in the soil or brushed petals from the grass, while others simply sat or floated slowly, absorbing the calm of the place. Every action was deliberate, slow, and meditative, emphasizing reflection and the gentle harmony of life after life. The traveler continued forward, moving along the gentle hills and meadows, feeling the rhythm of the borderland seep deeper into the body and mind. Every step, every breath, every glance at the flowing streams or drifting spirits carried a sense of measured presence. The subtle interplay of shadow and light, movement and stillness, reflection and gentle joy created a meditation in motion, a slow unfolding of the underworld's quiet harmony. As the borderlands gradually merged with the soft golden light of Asphodel and Elysium beyond, the traveler felt a deep sense of serenity. The mist, streams, and pale spirits had all worked together to prepare the mind and heart for the wider realm, where calm, gentle rhythms guided every being. Here, at the edge of shadow and light, the underworld revealed its enduring promise. Even in a realm of reflection and quiet meditation, there was balance, peace, and soft joy. With a final, slow breath, the traveler stepped forward into the gentle embrace of Asphodel, the rhythms of the borderlands lingering in every step, every thought, and every heartbeat. The journey through the shadow depths and transitional spaces had prepared them to move through the wider, harmonious realms of the underworld with awareness, calm, and a quiet sense of wonder. Asphodel, the plains of reflection. Wandering through quiet fields, the traveler stepped gently from the borderlands into the soft expanse of Asphodel. The air here was lighter, carrying a subtle warmth and the faint scent of pale flowers swaying in an unseen breeze. Mist still lingered in gentle wisps, curling slowly around the low hills and meandering streams. The ground beneath was soft, carpeted with quiet grass and small blossoms that glimmered faintly in muted silver and gold, reflecting the calm, reflective light of the underworld. Each step felt like a meditation, grounding the traveler in the gentle rhythm of the land. In the distance, the plains stretched endlessly, undulating with gentle hills and dotted with clusters of trees and reflective pools. Streams wound slowly through the terrain, their waters mirror-like, carrying faint ripples that shimmered softly with every movement of the air. The gentle sound of flowing water blended with the soft rustle of leaves and the occasional whisper of drifting spirits, creating a subtle symphony that seemed to echo the slow pulse of the underworld itself. The traveler felt the soothing harmony seep into every part of the body, encouraging each step to be slow, deliberate, and fully present. Pale spirits wandered through the plains in serene motion, moving with quiet grace and gentle awareness. Some paused by pools to observe their own reflections, tracing patterns in the water with soft gestures. Others strolled along the streams, letting their fingers brush the surface and create faint ripples. A few sat beneath trees with drooping silver and golden leaves, eyes closed, listening to the gentle melodies of the wind and water. The traveler noticed that every movement seemed intentional and thoughtful, a slow meditation that mirrored the rhythms of the land. Persephone appeared once more, her luminous presence a comforting light in the muted plains. She gestured toward a nearby stream, encouraging the traveler to pause and observe the ripples spreading across its surface. Hade stood slightly behind, his shadowed form calm, steady, and protective, blending naturally with the soft contours of the plains. Together, they demonstrated the quiet balance of Asphodel, a place where wandering souls moved without hurry, reflecting on their lives and choices in an atmosphere of gentle acceptance. The traveler knelt beside a shallow pool, letting their fingers brush the cool, mirror-like water. Tiny ripples spread outward in delicate, overlapping circles, reflecting the pale light of the sky above and the drifting forms of spirits. The effect was hypnotic and soothing, inviting the traveler's mind to slow, the heartbeat to settle, and the body to relax completely. Every ripple, every reflection, every soft movement of water and spirit seemed designed to guide attention inward, fostering quiet contemplation and gentle presence. Across the plains, clusters of flowers shimmered faintly, swaying with an invisible current of air. Small birds with pale feathers glided silently above the meadows, their soft, melodic calls barely disturbing the gentle hush of the land. The traveler noticed that even in movement, the energy of Asphodel was calm, balanced, and meditative. Each drifting spirit, each ripple in the streams, each faint flutter of leaves contributed to a soft rhythm that invited slow, deliberate reflection. As the traveler continued, they found a gentle hill overlooking a broad expanse of the plains. From this vantage point, streams, groves, and drifting spirits all moved in quiet, harmonious patterns. The eye could wander without strain, tracing the slow curves of water and hills, observing pale figures gliding softly between pools and meadows. Every detail encouraged calm awareness, a deepening sense of stillness, and a gentle letting go of any tension carried from the world above. Persephone guided the traveler along a winding path between the streams, showing that even in the wandering, reflective plains, there was purpose, rhythm, and serenity. Hade's presence nearby reminded the traveler that balance existed not only in light and shadow but also in movement and stillness, in wandering and pause. Together, they encouraged a slow journey, a gentle exploration of each detail, and a deepening understanding of the reflective harmony of Asphodel. With each step, the traveler felt more connected to the plains, more in tune with the quiet rhythm of the underworld, and more aware of the gentle meditation embedded in every stone, ripple, and drifting spirit. The land whispered a promise, even in wandering. There was peace, even in reflection. There was harmony, and even in shadowed realms, calm could always be found. Wandering souls and gentle currents, the traveler continued along the soft, winding paths of Asphodel, stepping lightly on the pale grass and tiny blossoms that swayed with each gentle breeze. The mist hovered in lazy, curling tendrils, brushing softly against the low hills and reflecting pools. Every movement of the traveler seemed in harmony with the land, slow, deliberate, and peaceful. Streams flowed beside the path, their surfaces mirror-like, carrying faint ripples that spread in delicate, circular patterns, each one reflecting the muted light and drifting spirits nearby. Along the way, wandering souls appeared in the distance, moving with soft, graceful motions. Some walked slowly through the meadows, pausing occasionally to touch a flower or trace a pattern in the sand beside a stream. Others knelt beside reflective pools, their hands lightly disturbing the surface, sending ripples that shimmered faintly in the muted light. A few spirits sat beneath trees, eyes closed, listening to the soft rustle of leaves, the faint hum of flowing water, and the gentle movement of mist. Every motion carried a purpose, a calm meditation, a quiet reflection of lives past. The traveler paused beside a small, meandering stream, letting their fingers skim the cool, smooth water. Tiny ripples spread outward, overlapping with the subtle currents of the stream. Each ripple carried a soft resonance, a quiet reminder that even small movements could create gentle, lasting effects. The traveler inhaled slowly, feeling the rhythm of the water align with their own heartbeat, each breath lengthening as tension melted away. The air was filled with a faint scent of pale blossoms, mingling with the earthy undertones of the grass and moss, creating a calming fragrance that seemed to wrap around the body like a soft, warm cloak. Persephone appeared beside the traveler, her luminous presence soft and comforting. She pointed toward a wide reflective pool, its surface so still it mirrored the sky above and the drifting figures of spirits with perfect clarity. Hades stood a little farther away, his presence steady and quiet, blending naturally with the muted colors of the plains. The two guided the traveler gently, showing that even in the wandering and reflective spaces of Asphodel, there was harmony, balance, and a deliberate, meditative rhythm to every movement. Nearby, a few spirits walked slowly along the banks of the pool, pausing to watch their reflections merge with the soft light. Some traced delicate patterns in the sand at the water's edge, creating concentric circles that spread outward in slow, overlapping waves. The traveler knelt to watch, feeling a subtle pull of calm settle deep within. Every ripple, every gentle movement, every quiet glance of the spirit seemed to teach patience, mindfulness, and serenity. Even in quiet observation, there was a sense of participation in the tranquil flow of the land. As the traveler moved onward, they noticed clusters of silver and golden flowers shimmering faintly in the soft light. Pale birds glided silently above the meadows, occasionally dipping near the streams or resting upon low branches. Their faint, melodic calls blended seamlessly with the sounds of water, mist, and the gentle footsteps of wandering spirits. The effect was hypnotic in its calmness, like a lullaby woven from light, shadow, water, and soft movement. The traveler came to a gentle hill overlooking a broad expanse of asphodel. Streams meandered through the plains below, reflecting clusters of drifting spirits and shimmering blossoms. Some spirits paused along the banks, quietly touching the water, while others wandered beneath the soft trees, brushing petals with their fingertips. From this vantage point, the land seemed to breathe, moving in slow, deliberate rhythm that carried a sense of timeless peace. Persephone gestured toward the distant horizon, where the soft glow of Elysium began to shine through the silver mist. Even in wandering, there is purpose, she said softly. Every step, every ripple, every moment of quiet reflection brings balance, understanding, and calm. Hades' presence nearby reinforced this truth, a silent anchor to the gentle flow of the plains. The traveler took one last slow breath, feeling the pulse of asphodel beneath their feet, the subtle currents of the streams, and the meditative presence of the wandering spirits. Each step forward became a continuation of this gentle rhythm, a soft journey through quiet reflection and subtle harmony, carrying a profound sense of serenity that lingered long after the traveler moved onward. Approaching the light of Elysium, the traveler moved slowly through the quiet plains of Asphodel, the soft grass brushing against their feet and the faint mist curling gently around the silver and golden trees. Streams meandered lazily through the fields, their waters mirror-like, reflecting the muted light of the underworld and the pale, drifting figures of spirits who moved with deliberate calm. The air was filled with the subtle hum of flowing water, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the faint whispers of wandering souls, creating a serene symphony that invited the traveler to slow their thoughts and sink deeper into stillness. Every step through the meadows felt intentional. The traveler noticed spirits walking in pairs, their movements synchronized in quiet harmony, as if sharing the meditation of the land. Some paused to observe reflections in the pools, tracing gentle patterns with their hands that spread in concentric ripples. Others wandered beneath the softly swaying trees, brushing petals aside with care and absorbing the calm of the surroundings. Even in movement, the energy of Asphodel was patient, measured, and peaceful, encouraging reflection rather than urgency, presence rather than distraction. Persephone appeared beside the traveler, her luminous presence radiating gentle warmth. She gestured toward the horizon, where the faint golden glow of Elysium shimmered through the soft mist. Hades followed, calm and steady, his shadowed figure grounding the quiet energy of the plains. Together, they guided the traveler along a winding path that meandered between pools, streams, and clusters of flowers, teaching that even in wandering and reflection, there was purpose, balance, and serene rhythm. The traveler paused at the edge of a wide, reflective pool. Its surface mirrored the drifting mist, pale spirits, and softly swaying trees. When the traveler dipped their fingers into the water, tiny ripples spread slowly across the surface, overlapping and merging with the faint movements of the spirits nearby. The effect was mesmerizing, meditative, and profoundly calming. Each ripple seemed to whisper, "Slow down. Observe. Feel the rhythm of the land. Let your mind rest in quiet reflection." Nearby, a gentle breeze moved across the fields, carrying the faint scent of blossoms and the soft warmth of distant golden light. The traveler noticed a few spirits engaged in quiet, simple interactions. Brushing a leaf from a friend's path, touching the water together, or walking side by side in companionable silence. Every action was thoughtful, deliberate, and gentle, embodying the slow, reflective energy that defined Asphodel. The traveler felt their own movement synchronize with this rhythm, each step soft, each breath deep, each glance deliberate and calm. The meadows gradually gave way to slightly higher ground, from which the traveler could see the distant glow of Elysium more clearly. Streams flowed in wide, slow curves, and the pale spirits drifted calmly, their faces serene and unhurried. The light ahead was soft and inviting, promising warmth and quiet joy, yet it did not rush or overwhelm. Instead, it shimmered gently, blending with the silver and golden haze of Asphodel, reminding the traveler that even the brightest, most joyful realms could coexist with reflection and calm. Persephone gestured toward a grove near the horizon, where the first golden flowers of Elysium swayed gently. "Soon," she said softly, "you will experience the light that balances all shadow. But even here, in the wandering plains, every ripple, every step, and every breath prepares you for serenity." Hades' presence beside her reinforced this sense of enduring calm, a reminder that balance existed not only between shadow and light but also between reflection and joy. The traveler took a deep, deliberate breath, feeling the pulse of asphodel beneath their feet, the slow hum of flowing streams, and the gentle, meditative rhythm of the spirits around them. Each step forward carried the essence of this calm, carrying the quiet harmony of shadow and reflection toward the soft golden light ahead. With each movement, the traveler felt more connected, more present, and more at peace, ready to enter the next serene chapter of the Underworld's gentle embrace, the soft, radiant expanse of Elysium. Elysium, the radiant realm entering the fields of light. The traveler stepped forward from the gentle silver and golden haze of asphodel into a place bathed in soft, golden light. Elysium unfolded like a vast, tranquil meadow, stretching endlessly toward the horizon. The grass shimmered faintly as if dusted with sunlight, and pale blossoms swayed lightly in a breeze that carried the subtle scent of warmth and quiet joy. Every breath of air felt soft, nurturing, and calm, inviting the traveler to slow their pace and take in the serene beauty surrounding them. Soft streams of crystal, clear water wound gracefully through the fields, reflecting the warm light and the drifting forms of spirits who moved with gentle purpose. Their movements were slow and deliberate, each step measured and thoughtful. Some strolled along the streams, pausing occasionally to dip their fingers into the water, sending tiny ripples across the mirrored surface. Others rested beneath clusters of luminous trees, listening to the rustle of leaves and the faint hum of the gentle currents around them. The traveler felt the rhythm of Elysium seep into every fiber of their being, slowing the heartbeat, easing the mind, and settling the body into calm awareness. Persephone appeared beside the traveler, her luminous form blending with the golden hues of the fields. She gestured toward the gently flowing streams, encouraging the traveler to follow slowly and observe the serene patterns of life here. Hade's shadowed figure remained nearby, a grounding presence in the midst of radiance, his calm energy balancing the warmth and light of Elysium. Together, they guided the traveler through this tranquil realm, showing that even in a land of light and gentle joy, the rhythm of reflection and deliberate motion persisted. The traveler knelt beside a stream, letting their fingers brush the cool, clear water. Tiny ripples spread across the surface, reflecting the soft glow of the golden light and the drifting forms of nearby spirits. The effect was hypnotic and meditative, each ripple a gentle reminder to slow the mind, release lingering tension, and become fully present in the serene harmony of the meadow. Every subtle movement, the flow of water, the sway of the trees, the drifting of spirits, was designed to encourage mindfulness, inner peace, and calm presence. Scattered across the meadows, small groups of spirits engaged in quiet, gentle activities. Some traced patterns in the soft soil beside the streams, their movements graceful and deliberate. Others brushed petals or leaves aside with tender care, as if shaping the land itself with slow, mindful attention. A few drifted together in soft conversation, their words melodic whispers that blended seamlessly with the natural sounds of water, wind, and gentle light. The traveler felt that even in these soft interactions, every gesture contributed to the overarching rhythm of harmony and meditation that defined Elysium. The hills rose gently in the distance, creating a soft, undulating landscape dotted with clusters of golden flowers and pale trees. Streams flowed in sweeping curves, connecting pools that reflected the radiant sky and the spirits moving above them. The traveler paused on one gentle slope, gazing across the expanse, and felt a profound sense of stillness settle within. The interplay of light, water, and soft movement created a natural meditation, an unhurried dance of serenity that encouraged deep reflection and quiet joy. Persephone led the traveler along a winding path through one of the meadows, showing clusters of spirits moving slowly in harmony with the land. Each ripple in the streams, each flutter of leaves, each gentle gesture of a spirit contributed to the calm symphony of Elysium. Hades remained close, silently observing, his presence a subtle reminder that balance between shadow and light, reflection and joy, was at the heart of this tranquil realm. The traveler continued onward, feeling the rhythm of Elysium align with their own pulse. Every step, every breath, and every glance became part of the soft flow of the land. Here, in the radiant expanse of the blessed plains, there was no hurry, no urgency, only a gentle unfolding of calm, presence, and serene awareness. Each movement invited stillness, each ripple encouraged reflection, and each soft light reminded the traveler that peace could be both gentle and enduring. With a slow, deep breath, the traveler moved further into the golden fields, letting the soft light, flowing streams, and drifting spirits guide every step. The quiet serenity of Elysium settled into mind, body, and soul, a lasting reminder that even after shadowed depths and reflective plains, gentle joy and calm harmony could be found in the underworld's radiant embrace. Gentle joys and serene interactions, the traveler walked slowly through the golden meadows of Elysium, letting the soft light wash over their skin and the gentle warmth fill their chest. Every blade of grass seemed to sway in time with the rhythm of the land, every blossom brushing softly against another, and every distant stream rippling in harmonious cadence. The subtle sounds of the plains, the quiet hum of water, the whisper of leaves, and the delicate flutters of pale birds above, formed a gentle symphony that invited the traveler to slow their thoughts and sink fully into calm awareness. Scattered across the fields, pale spirits moved gracefully, each in their own meditative rhythm. Some sat beside reflective pools, tracing delicate patterns in the water, watching ripples expand slowly across the surface. Others wandered slowly beneath the luminous trees, brushing petals aside or allowing them to drift gently into the streams. A few drifted together in quiet companionship, their movements unhurried and synchronized, as if the land itself encouraged their gentle flow. Watching them, the traveler realized that every gesture in Elysium carried intention and mindfulness, a soft celebration of balance, serenity, and peaceful reflection. Persephone appeared beside the traveler, her soft glow blending naturally with the warm golden light of the plains. She pointed toward a cluster of spirits gently moving through a meadow of radiant flowers. "Even here," she said softly, "joy is measured, gentle, and deliberate. Every smile, every motion, every ripple in the water reflects the calm harmony of the land." Hades stood a little farther away, his shadowed form grounding the bright expanse with quiet stability, a reminder that balance remained at the heart of even the brightest, most serene places. The traveler knelt beside a stream that widened into a calm, mirror-like pool. Its waters reflected the golden light above, the soft mist drifting across the meadows, and the pale forms of spirits moving gently along its edges. The traveler dipped their fingers into the water, sending small ripples across the surface. These ripples merged with those created by passing spirits, creating a slow, mesmerizing dance of overlapping circles. Each ripple seemed to carry a subtle lesson, presence, patience, and the quiet joy of gentle motion. The traveler closed their eyes, letting the soothing rhythm of water, light, and spirit settle deep into the mind and body. Soft breezes moved through the meadows, carrying the subtle scent of blossoms and the warm, nurturing energy of Elysium. The traveler observed a few spirits pausing by clusters of golden flowers, their hands brushing lightly against petals or moss-covered stones. Some reached into the water, allowing their fingers to stir gentle ripples, while others floated silently above the meadows, their presence serene and contemplative. Every movement was deliberate, every pause meaningful, and every interaction harmonized with the slow, enduring rhythm of the land. The hills rose softly toward the horizon, dotted with luminous flowers and gentle streams winding through reflective pools. From this vantage point, the traveler could see the quiet symphony of Elysium, clusters of spirits moving slowly in meditative motion, streams flowing in gentle curves, petals drifting in soft breezes, and sunlight glimmering on every reflective surface. The expanse was vast yet intimate, peaceful yet alive, offering a deep sense of calm, reflection, and quiet joy. Persephone guided the traveler along a meandering path toward one of the wider pools, where several spirits were gathered in gentle harmony. Some traced patterns in the sand, others watched their reflections merge with the light of the pool, and a few floated slowly above the water, their faces serene, their movements deliberate. The traveler felt a profound sense of peace, recognizing that Elysium was not just a realm of joy, but a living meditation, a place where every action, no matter how small, contributed to a harmonious, calm flow of energy. The traveler continued forward, allowing the soft rhythm of Elysium to guide each step, each breath, and each glance. Streams, flowers, spirits, and light all moved in gentle synchrony, creating a natural meditation that settled the mind, relaxed the body, and lifted the heart. Here, in this radiant realm, the traveler understood that serenity was not just a state of rest, but a slow, deliberate dance of presence, reflection, and calm joy. With one last deep breath, the traveler moved toward the next gentle rise in the plains, the soft pulse of Elysium surrounding them fully, carrying them forward into the tranquil embrace of the radiant fields. The heart of peace, the traveler continued walking through the vast, golden meadows of Elysium, feeling the soft warmth of the light on their skin and the gentle sway of pale blossoms brushing against their hands. The mist, delicate and curling, seemed to shimmer with a golden hue, wrapping the land in a soft embrace. Streams meandered quietly across the plains, their waters perfectly still in some places, gently rippling in others, reflecting the slow, graceful movements of drifting spirits. Each step of the traveler felt deliberate, measured, and in harmony with the gentle rhythm of this radiant realm. Pale spirits wandered gracefully through the fields, each moving with quiet intention. Some paused beside pools, tracing delicate circles on the mirror, like water with their fingers, watching the ripples expand slowly across the surface. Others strolled beneath clusters of luminous trees, brushing petals or leaves aside with tender care, their motions unhurried and calm. A few floated in soft circles with companions, their faces serene, their laughter a faint, melodic whisper that mingled with the rustle of leaves and the gentle flow of water. The traveler felt each movement seep into their consciousness, teaching the unspoken rhythm of presence, patience, and gentle reflection. Persephone appeared beside the traveler, her soft glow blending seamlessly with the golden light of the fields. She gestured toward the center of a broad meadow, where the largest pools reflected streams, flowers, and drifting spirits alike. "This is the heart of Elysium," she said in a voice soft and musical. "Here, every motion, every breath, every ripple joins together in harmony, creating a profound calm that touches all who enter." Hades remained nearby, his quiet, grounding presence a steady contrast to the warm, luminous energy of the meadow. Together, they guided the traveler toward the center, inviting them to witness the full serenity of this blessed place. The traveler approached one of the wider pools, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the golden sky above and the drifting forms of spirits around it. Tiny ripples began to spread when a spirit lightly touched the water, and these merged with other movements, forming overlapping patterns that shimmered softly. The effect was hypnotic, soothing, and meditative. The traveler knelt beside the pool, letting their fingers trace the edges of the water and watching the ripples dance slowly across the reflective surface. Each ripple seemed to echo a gentle reminder: presence, mindfulness, and serenity are always available, even in movement. Clusters of golden flowers swayed gently in the soft breeze, their petals brushing lightly against one another, creating a faint, melodic rustle. Birds with pale feathers glided above the fields, their soft calls blending with the distant hum of flowing water and the subtle whispers of drifting spirits. The traveler observed small groups of souls engaged in quiet, deliberate activities, tracing patterns in sand, brushing petals aside, or simply floating in reflective meditation. Every gesture, no matter how small, contributed to the gentle harmony of the meadow, reinforcing the underlying rhythm of calm that defined Elysium. From a gentle rise in the meadow, the traveler could see the full expanse of the radiant plains, streams flowing in sweeping curves, clusters of luminous trees, fields of glowing blossoms, and spirits moving slowly in meditative harmony. The traveler paused, inhaling deeply, feeling the rhythm of the land settle into their own heartbeat. Each breath lengthened, each step slowed, and each glance became a meditation. Here, at the heart of Elysium, light, joy, and reflection existed together in perfect balance, teaching a deep, enduring serenity. Persephone guided the traveler to a soft patch of grass beside one of the largest pools, encouraging them to sit quietly. Hades stood silently nearby, observing the serene harmony of the plains. The traveler let the calm of Elysium wash over them, noticing how every sound, the rippling streams, the soft rustle of leaves, the faint flutter of wings, the whispered laughter of spirits, blended seamlessly into a slow, rhythmic symphony of peace. In this moment, the traveler understood the essence of the underworld, even in shadowed depths, reflective plains, or radiant fields. There was always a rhythm, a gentle balance, and an enduring serenity waiting to be felt. With one final, slow, deep breath, the traveler rose, carrying the quiet pulse of Elysium in their mind, body, and soul. Every step forward was guided by the soft rhythm of this radiant realm, and every thought was softened by the gentle, meditative energy surrounding them. The traveler had reached the heart of peace, ready to continue through the final reflections of the underworld, where The harmony of shadow, light, reflection, and joy would be remembered and carried forward. The final reflections, a journey through memory and calm. The traveler stepped forward from the radiant plains of Elysium into a quiet, open space where the golden light softened into gentle warmth, blending with the muted silver of distant shadows. This place felt like a meeting of all realms, the reflective mists of Asphodel, the gentle hills of the borderlands, the quiet pools and streams, and the soft radiance of Elysium. The air was still, filled with a calm hush that seemed to settle around the traveler, inviting every muscle, every thought, every heartbeat to release tension and sink into serenity. The ground beneath the traveler's feet was soft and springy, lined with pale flowers that swayed lazily in an invisible breeze. Streams trickled gently nearby, winding their way through meadows, their waters mirror-like and smooth. Each ripple of water, each soft rustle of leaves, carried a subtle rhythm that the traveler felt in their own heartbeat, a slow, steady pulse that encouraged deep, deliberate breathing. In this final space, every sound, every motion, every detail seemed intentionally designed to ease the mind and invite reflection. As the traveler walked slowly, familiar sights appeared, the winding streams of Asphodel, the hidden glades of the borderlands, and the shimmering meadows of Elysium. Pale spirits drifted in soft, deliberate motion, some pausing to observe the traveler with gentle, knowing expressions. Others continued in their meditative wanderings, their hands brushing petals or tracing patterns in the reflective water, each gesture deliberate, mindful, and calm. The traveler realized that all the realms they had visited were interconnected, each contributing a different layer of understanding, reflection, and serenity. Persephone appeared once more, her luminous form warm and comforting. She guided the traveler to a wide, shallow pool at the heart of this reflective space. Its surface was perfectly still, mirroring the sky above, the softly glowing light, and the drifting forms of spirits moving around it. Hades remained nearby, his presence quiet, steady, and grounding, a calm anchor in this final, meditative space. "This is the culmination of your journey," Persephone whispered. "Here, all that you have seen, felt, and experienced in the underworld comes together. Every shadow, every reflection, every gentle joy is present here, waiting to be acknowledged with calm and understanding." The traveler knelt beside the pool, allowing their fingers to graze the smooth surface. Tiny ripples spread outward in slow, overlapping circles, merging with the faint movements of nearby spirits. Each ripple carried a whisper of memory from the journey, the soft mist of the borderlands, the reflective plains of Asphodel, the radiant joy of Elysium. The effect was mesmerizing, meditative, and profoundly soothing, a gentle reminder that the underworld was not just a place of rest or reflection, but a sanctuary of harmony, presence, and inner balance. Clusters of pale flowers swayed gently in the breeze, brushing lightly against one another and filling the air with a faint, calming fragrance. The traveler observed spirits pausing in their wandering, resting beside pools or beneath softly swaying trees. Some traced patterns in the sand, others floated silently above the meadows, and a few lingered near the water's edge, watching their reflections merge with the ripples. Every small movement, no matter how delicate, added to the tranquil rhythm of this sacred space. Persephone and Hades led the traveler to a gentle hill overlooking the entire expanse. Streams curved gracefully through the plains, pools shimmered with reflected light, and spirits moved with serene purpose. The traveler inhaled slowly, feeling the rhythm of the underworld settle fully into their own being. Every heartbeat, every breath, every glance was in harmony with the calm pulse of the land. The journey through shadow, reflection, and radiance had culminated in this soft, enveloping serenity. The traveler understood that the underworld was more than a realm of the dead. It was a place of quiet learning, measured reflection, and gentle harmony. Every step, every ripple, every drifting spirit carried the slow wisdom of balance between shadow and light, reflection and joy, stillness and movement. With a deep, deliberate breath, the traveler felt the calm pulse of the underworld settle deep into mind, body, and soul, a gentle, lasting reminder of the enduring peace that existed within every realm they had visited. With one final glance across the tranquil pools, soft meadows, and radiant fields, the traveler allowed themselves to sink fully into the serenity of the moment, carrying the gentle rhythm of the underworld into every thought, every breath, and every heartbeat.